Welcome in, everybody. We're getting rolling here today. I've got an amazing guest hanging out with me, and we're going to have some fun here on the channel. Looking to get things rolling. I hit the flat button. We'll bring up the start thing to get you guys comfortable, and we're going to have a lot of fun today as our stream will be starting soon. We're waiting on the feed to come from MLB, just so you guys are in the loop of what we're doing and how we're going. Let me talk a little bit about today's lineup and what we're looking at from the MLB with the Orioles and your White Sox. It is the Chicago White Sox visiting the Baltimore Orioles here in Camden Yards, a very hot, very hot, very hot Baltimore, Maryland. It is going to be up near 97, 98, and with the Baltimore humidity, God knows how hot it feels today. Welcome in, welcome in. Let's talk about it. The Chicago White Sox, 45 and 39. The lineup is going to look as followed: Antonucci, Vargas, Benintendi, Montgomery, Gonzalez, Meadroth, Peters, Acuna, and Romo. Peters, Acuna, and Romo will be your pitcher today. Will be Schultz with a record of ERA of 5.82. I'm a little concerned as why the White Sox are such a huge underdog today. As good as they've been playing out there, I'm very, very surprised. Welcome into Debbie. Welcome into Sal. How you doing? Southside will sweep the Orioles, maybe. Welcome into George. Good to see you all this morning in the chat with us. For the homestanding Baltimore Orioles, 39 and 48, not playing anywhere near where they want to. Henderson, Rushman, Ward, Alonso, Mayo, O'Neill, Tavares, Holiday, Alexander. On the hill today will be the return of Dean Kramer with a 4.09 ERA. Orioles are struggling as they're working on their game, trying to get back to a playoff opportunity. Right now, that playoff opportunity only looks like it's going to go through a wild card the way they're doing. Baltimore Orioles currently sitting in fourth place in their division. They are 12 and a half games back of the New York Yankees and 5 games back of the wild card slot. They were just 2 games a couple days ago, but they've lost 4 straight. Chicago White Sox sit top of their division. They are ahead of the Cleveland Guardians by a half game and the Twins by 3. In their last 10, the Baltimore Orioles are 4-6 and have lost 4 in a row. The Chicago White Sox are 6-4 and they have won 2 today. Again, you're tuning in. It is the Chicago White Sox this afternoon from Camden Yards versus the Baltimore Orioles right here on the channel. I have a guest coming in today. It's going to be a lot of fun to sit and talk with him. As you guys know, I have worked with DK Baseball Clinics, and I am proud to do so and proud to support them. Today, their national advisor, Tim McCullough, is going to join me on some play-by-play call. Tim is one of the most respected voices in fantasy baseball, and I'm telling you, when you talk about somebody who knows fantasy, this gentleman does. So if you have questions today in any regards for that, we can dip into that a little bit for you. He's nationally known for his deep player evaluations, statistic insight, and more than 21 years of dedicated research for analytical space, which is incredibly impressive. His work is featured across major outlets, including Yahoo.com, the Associated Press, the New York Post, and the New York Daily News. So we're not talking about somebody sitting in their basement just sitting around. We're talking about someone who has been there and done it. He originally made his mark through influential roles at Roto Experts and Baseball Prospectus, where the research-driven analyst earned him a strong following and reputation. Just some key points about Tim. Nationally syndicated writer and commentator on Yahoo, former senior analyst at Roto, like I said, contributor and researcher for Baseball Prospectus, DKBC Baseball, their Legend Edition program national advisor, working along MLB scout Rick Davis, key contributor to DKBC Legacy Tribute selection process, co-developer of their national publications and honoree presentations, and recognized expert in strategic foresight, player development trends, and long-form baseball analysis. He's a frequent guest on multiple baseball podcasts and radio segments, live stream, and now adding us into the mix today. And a highly respected figure in baseball community and long-standing national following. So we're excited. His resume reads pretty strong, and we're excited about that because it's going to be a lot of fun today to sit and have him in on this on our game. Give us a little color on some of the statistical information as the game goes along. Talk a little bit about DK baseball and everything that they're doing. So we got a lot planned today, so we're pretty excited about that. Doug is here. Hello, Doug. He's dropping stats and information for us in the chat. Hello, Paige. Good morning. You're at stupid work. I'm sorry about that. Kurt Montgomery, welcome in. Let's see. Did I lose my stream or just the feed here on this? I'm trying to see. Double check, make sure. Yeah, we're still good over here. I don't know what happened on. We are still good there. My iPad just went crazy and went down. Gotta love that. Okay. Gotta love it when technology works within you. There we go. Now it's coming back up. I guess it's the heat. Everything's tired today, everybody. So welcome into the friends that have joined us already. 18, 19 of you already in the house. Shane, welcome back in, buddy. Good to see you. If you are brand new today, hit that like on the stream. Tell YouTube we're doing a good job. You can share it out. Tell others you're watching over here. Those items all help. There's that little heart thing down in the corner of the chat. You can be pressing on that all day. It does tell YouTube, hey, I'm liking what I'm seeing over here. It's a party, whatever you want to do, and all those little analytics will come up. We're about 1.5 minutes from game time. Let's come in here real quick and let's say hello to Tim, and we'll get ready. I know we're ahead. I usually wait and do this, but I want to get Tim in here, and we'll get the screen in here momentarily. Tim, hello. How are you, sir? Good to see you.
Hey, good afternoon, Pete. How you doing?
Hanging in there. It's a hot morning, and we're just getting going here. So, such is life on my channel as we go through. We are waiting on 3D is just coming up now, so it's going to take just a second. Glad you could come in and join us today. I know, I don't think these are your two teams. Who is your actual team that you follow close to you?
Well, it's funny. When I started writing about baseball and fantasy baseball 20 years ago, my mentor back then said that I could no longer be a fan of teams.
You had to
Uh,
go the anonymous route.
so I kind
Gotcha.
of dropped it. But secretly, secretly, I'm a Mets fan and a Red Sox fan.
Nice.
So those are my two teams.
Okay. Well, we've got a lot of those that support us and watch us. Friends will be coming in today and saying hello. Let's see how we look on the screen here. I usually do all this backstage. There we go. We're set there. Coming in. All right. I want to zoom out just a little bit and get the position in there so we can at least see the plate. Take it up just a hair. Okay, there we go. Kramer's getting loose. Hey, but can you hit me that up and then just crack me a Coke? Let me take that down. Dean Kramer's only got 2 starts this season. He's 0-1 with a 4.09 ERA. Opponent's hitting 195 against him. How the Orioles are a 150 favorite? Tim, I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out too. The White Sox have been red hot. I mean, they've been killing it. I mean, I think they've won 8 out of their last 10 games, something like that.
Yeah, it's been
Um,
crazy.
yeah,
Uh,
6 of their past 8 they've won. 102 home runs since April 17th, and their record since then 39-28. I mean, that's 600 ball.
that's 600
That's
balls. Let's see, we got first 3 coming up is Antonocci getting to the plate, getting ready to step in right now for first pitch. We're lining it up right here. Kramer's on the hill getting loose. Antonocci in the box doing his first initial step ins, telling the umpire time and getting ready to go. Kramer is getting set for a 12:37 first pitch. He rocks, he deals, he fires. It comes in. And that is a strike right there. We're off and running. Hello to Kay Wilby. There's a Red Sox fan. Go Team Coach says, do you think they'll score the first? I'm going to say yeah. I'm going to go with yes. I'm going to say they will. Miss Chill, welcome in. Here's the pitch coming in. Well, there's a long fly ball. Deep right field at the track. Look it up. Kramer gives up the home run of the second pitch of the game. So, Tim, I think we got, yes, they're going to score the first.
Yeah, once again, I can't understand how the White Sox aren't favored today. Um, they've been red hot.
I,
Well,
I don't get it. I don't get it. Kramer was not one of my favorites. He would do this and give up a lot of home runs, and here he does it on the second pitch. I should also say, before Vargas steps in, that Baltimore, when it's hot, there's the first pitch down low for a strike. Tim, Baltimore, when it's hot, is like you're hitting a rubber ball.
yeah, the ball carries out of Camden Yards. No, that was Antonucci's fourth home run of the month of June.
Wow. There's a fly ball. Vargas, center field, over. Tavares makes the catch. There's 2 outs in the inning. It's going to bring up Benintendi. Let me go over real quick the outfield. Ward, Tavares, O'Neill, left to right. Alexander, Henderson, Holiday, and Mayo in the infield at first. The Orioles working on their project to back up Alonso. Rushman will be your catcher behind the plate, which means Alonso will be your DH. That's that's an interesting way to start the game. Baltimore traditional. Now they're chasing. Mm-mm. Benintendi steps in. 247 hitting for the year. 10 home runs, 40 driven in. Kramer's first pitch is a ball. Hoping that the Orioles can try to figure out something today, Tim. They've been chasing a little bit.
Yeah, they've had a tough time. Right? It's the pitching too. That's where they're kind of falling apart. Is the pitching. It's been a real problem. But their offense hasn't been there either.
Not consistently, no. 1-1 coming to Benintendi here. They knew the pitching was weak in the offseason. Kramer rocks and fires and comes in low for a ball. They knew the pitching was not there, and yet that's not what they focused on. They went out and spent the farm on Alonso and worked on a couple different little aspects and kind of left pitching alone pretty much, in my opinion, because I would say, and I'll be curious your opinion, here Kramer deals again 2-1. Strike right there, 2-2. The pitchers they grabbed were 3 and 4 starters, and now one of them is on the DL. The other one's hasn't been doing well. They don't have a number one at all, much less even a 1.5.
No, they really don't. And that's that was the surprising thing. They went out and got Alonso, spent big on him, and they've been building the team around this nice young core. Um, all they really needed to do was add a number one starter, maybe a number two in there, and they could have contended this year. They really could have, but they chose not to.
Benintendi's going to go down on a strikeout. We had a challenge at the plate. Home plate is Carlos Torres today, and you're going to see a ton of challenges. Trust me, you're going to see a ton. His numbers are atrocious right there. Mouse Talk, yeah, we're already losing. Welcome in to our partner channel, who also broadcasts on the Birdland Network. So you got an out already as Torres can't pick one up. And Montgomery coming up, 239 for the year for the left-hander. 2 home runs, 8 driven in. This left-hander, Tim, I've been impressed with Montgomery and bat speed and the way he approaches at the plate.
Yeah, Montgomery's he's been amazing this year. He's hit I think something like 20. I'm sorry, 50. Oh, I got the number. It's right on the tip of my tongue. 42 home runs since July 22nd of 2025.
Wow.
And only one hitter in all of baseball has more home runs in that time period. Want to
Wow.
guess?
It's got to be Judge.
No, Kyle Schwarber.
Schwarber, that was my second guess.
Yeah, he's got.
Kramer's sweating profusely already with the heat and humidity in Baltimore. So that's the other thing is going to be pitcher, wear down and getting tired. So
these guys are going to wear out quickly in this heat.
absolutely. He comes in with a splitter, 1-2, strike 3. Take a seat over there. That's going to end the inning on a strikeout.
Strike 3. You're out.
I love how the umpire is so proud of the call. He just stands there and looks at you.
You gotta have those little drop ins, Pete.
Absolutely. So Welcome into everybody. You're watching live. It is the Chicago White Sox versus the Baltimore Orioles from Camden Yards. The Sox versus the Birds, however you want to say it. Go Sox versus Go O's. Whatever your chant is out there for your team, yell it loud and proud. Whether you're a White Sox fan, an Orioles fan, or any other, welcome to our show this evening, or this afternoon, I should say. We're very excited to have DK Baseball Clinic's National Advisor Tim McCullough on the call with me today. Tim, tell everybody just a little bit here what you do over there with DK.
Well, with DK, I'm the national advisor. I identify candidates for their legacy bat program. In other words, I look for people who are worthy of recognition for their contributions to their community through the game of baseball. Last year we honored a woman who's been running a challenger league for kids with disabilities for the last 20 years.
Nice.
We've honored groundskeepers, people who work with college programs for many years. This year, and actually this coming July, we're going to be honoring a woman who's been working as a host family for Cape Cod League players for the last 27 years.
That's absolutely awesome. Well, we're going to dig in more to DK and everything throughout the stream today, everybody. So you're going to learn a lot more about it. Also, we're going to talk about Tim's background and just the game of baseball and his love. Noah Schultz is on the hill. 8 starts, 2-4 record, 5.82 ERA. Opponents hitting 216. First pitch coming into Henderson is a ball. Henderson will be followed in the lineup today for the Orioles by Rutschman and Ward in the first. They moved Henderson back up to the top. He seems to be embracing it pretty well.
Yeah, well, I think they wanted to get him more at bats. And they need somebody who's going to get on base at the top of the order.
That's a challenge,
I don't think they were getting that.
No. We'll see. Ball comes in high. They should have challenged that. That would have been a strike. That was in there. Another missed call. 3-0. Welcome in, Rincer. Good to see you. Yeah, also, I think, Gunnar has really struggled with not getting around on the fastball. He's been really late. There is a strike. So I think they're hoping that maybe they put him at the top ahead of Ward and Alonso and those guys coming behind him. Maybe he'll get more fastballs coming at him trying to get the initial out. I don't know.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Ward gets on base. I mean, he had 379 OBP, but Henderson, I think they need to get him as many at bats in a game as they possibly can. They need to maximize his bat.
Well, he takes the walk right there, so that's good for him. As your point to Ward getting on base, he is getting on base the multitude of the times this year through walks. And he is also not hitting the home run ball. He is hitting a higher average, a lot more singles and doubles in there. Rutschman is in the 2 spot today, though. Rutschman's been on fire, takes a strike. He's had a pretty solid year so far.
Yeah, I was really surprised by Rutschman coming back this year. He's had a tough time with injuries.
Yeah, really has.
Only 9 home runs last year. He's already got 8 this year, so he's nearly matched last year's total. But this is a guy who hit 20 home runs in 2023, 19 home runs in 2024. With a consistent batting average, up around 250, for most of his career. So it's good to see him back there.
Absolutely.
And slugging.
Do it and slugging with power. Yeah, getting slug up is a big thing. Currently 1-2 to Rutschman as he's fouled a couple off here. We're in the 4th pitch of the sequence coming up here for Rutschman. Lefty on the hill was put to Rutschman on the right-hand side. That is the weaker of his 2 sides. Also, you got a bright, heavy sun in Baltimore, so that's always a unique concept. I've had hitters say they hit less in their strike 3, swing as a miss as Rutschman gets handcuffed. I've had hitters actually say in post-game interviews that the backstop, the green, the way the glare hits that in Baltimore, it makes it a little bit tougher to see during the day. So I don't know. We'll see if that plays the part today as Ward hitting 249 makes his way to the plate. Have you been to Baltimore before, Tim, for games?
I have not. I have not been to Camden Yards. That's on my bucket list.
We'll have to do that sometime. I'd love to go down there. I enjoy going to games down there. I know it's. I told Preston, hey, you want to go to a game? I think he'd find a way to be off work all of a sudden. Uh, Ward has been a nice pickup for the Orioles, but they got to get some more power out of him for what they were hoping. I think he's got one home run of the year, which is a challenge. They were counting on his 20 to 25 coming over from the Angels. He's got 5 this year. I take that back. He's got 5 with 22 RBIs. He's a ground ball over to third, up clean, going to first with it. There's the out. They just get him by a step as Henderson was moving on the play. They didn't have to play second. You know, Tim, there's already talk with Ward possibly being a pickup from one of these teams higher in the division, wanting to trade for him.
Yeah, I mean, the Orioles have a decision to make, as far as whether or not they're going to sell off some assets from the team. And, Ward is one of those guys who is on the list as potential trade bait.
Yeah, they did say they interviewed Elias yesterday after the game. First pitch to Alonso, strike right there. Alonso hitting 249 on the year. Pete's ready to go. 19 home runs and 59. He's turned it on lately. They interviewed Elias yesterday after the game. Another tough Orioles loss. And I want to talk with Tim about some of those tough losses in a little bit. And he said 100% they are buying at the break. So I'll be curious to see. The new owner last year, committed 100% to get the Orioles back into the playoffs and back toward getting another championship here at Baltimore. Strike 2. I don't know, Tim. What do you think? What do you think? Should they be a buyer? Are they too far out? What do you think?
Well, I think they almost have to be a buyer. Their window here of contention with this young core that they've put together is rapidly closing.
Yeah.
Now, some of these guys are going to start to hit free agency, and then the Orioles historically have not ponied up the money to keep their free agents.
Yes.
They committed all this money to Alonso this year. I think they have to be buyers.
I hope so. 0-2 to Alonso. Strike 3. He swings at another ball in the other box. I've said that a lot this year. When he strikes out, he's missing out. I'm here with Tim McCullough from DK Baseball. You're watching us today live. It's the Chicago White Sox versus the Baltimore Orioles. Hit that subscribe. If you're new, say hello in the chat. We would love to welcome you in. Hit that like. That helps the channel out tremendously. Tim, I'm excited to the fact that they're talking about buying. I hope they do. They need pitching, and they've definitely this offseason, they've got to go find some. They don't have it. They don't have a number one looming down in the minors to go get. And you have to have nowadays, I would think you would agree, you have to have at least 3 to 4 horses in that stable in your starters to get to where you need to go in today's baseball.
Yeah, not only do you need 3 or 4 horses, but you need depth. You need a good 7 or 8 starters that you can call on to cover injuries and rest. And I mean, the Dodgers are, we kid about the Dodgers sending players back and forth to the IL, to give them a break. They come up with these quote unquote phantom injuries.
Yeah.
I almost think the Orioles need to play the same game, compile a good deep list of starters that they can call upon and start rotating these guys down for some rest.
That sounds like an interesting concept. Ronald Duffney, hello, Ronald Duffney, welcome in. D. Rich, welcome in to the show. Who do we got winning? Whoever plays the better game. That's what I always say. We stay here and call and give it to you. We'll give you trends and analysis and try to help you all the way through on all the concepts of how it's going. So welcome into the channel. Hit that subscribe today. We're trying to build our channel up to 60,000 followers. We're on our way there. To that, not that far away, about a little less than 600 away from that number, which would be kind of nice to go over the 60K. Dean Kramer in the second's going to face Gonzalez, Meadroth, and Peters. That would be 5, 6, 7, I believe, in the lineup today.
Yep.
Gonzalez had some shots already. He's having a really good series here. Are you surprised at the White Sox as I am, Tim, for what they're doing this year?
Oh, I'm definitely surprised. They've gotten a lot more out of their starting pitching than anybody expected. You know, I think they were expected to hit, but nobody expected their pitching to be as good as it's been. They've really had
Absolutely.
surprising performances on the mound. Um,
Very strong. Great point. Ground ball
um,
hit hard over to first to Alonso down the first base line. Or correction, I'm so used to saying Alonso to Mayo, and Mayo actually makes a nice play down the line and flips over to first to cover and get it out. So that's down there. Taterhead has joined us. D, thank you for subbing it up to the channel. We appreciate you. We do over 100 MLB games a year on this channel. Right now, we are on pace for 120, I think is our number this year, if things keep going well. So that's pretty interesting. So Midra is coming in 275 on the year for the right-handed hitter. 6 home runs, 27 driven in for the second baseman. You're right. Their pitching has been exceptional. They've been incredible at home, too. I think their record at home is something ridiculous, like 20-something and 10, 24 and 10, 25 and 10, somewhere in there. I don't have that in front of me, but I know it is very good. It's one of the best in baseball.
yeah, they have been. They've been unbelievable at home. Trying to pull up the record right now. Hang on just a sec. Why can't I find it? Oh, there it is. At home, they're 28-14,
Oh, wow.
17-25 on the road.
Yeah, that's been their challenge on the road. They've ran into some struggles. And against some lower end teams too that have turned it around on them. So that's going to
Yeah.
happen. Kramer 1-2 right now with Meadroth. Beautiful day, Camden Yards, one of the best places to eat. They've got so many great foods there, ranked in the top 10 in Major League Baseball. We went recently to where was it? Oh, we went to your stadium, the Mets, Preston and I. Oh my God, the food was incredible. Everything we ate was spectacular. I was really
Really?
shocked. Yeah.
Now, it's funny. I have not been to City Field.
Really?
That's
Meadroth goes down swinging strike three. You haven't been to the city? You just been to Old Shea?
Yeah. I used to go to Shea Stadium. I no longer live in the New York area. I live
Okay.
up in the Boston area now. So,
Yeah, if you get a chance, you ought to go down. The place was spotless. It was a beautiful stadium, clean as I've ever seen any stadium, both inside, outside. And when we got there, they told us here's the pitch to Peters is the foul. When we got there, one of the ushers said to us, "Hey, I said, what's one of the great nuances here besides the giant ball in center field, which I call it the giant ball, the apple going up and down on a home run, which we did get to see that day, which I was really glad about." Kramer looks into Peters as he gets his lose. Here comes pitch number 2 as he rocks and kicks and deals. Fly ball, center field. Tavares over. He's going to run it down. Sliding catch. Not sure if he needed it. That's the third out. We're going to the bottom of 2 here. I was really surprised. He said to us, the food's really good here. And I looked it up, and they were ranked either 1 or 2 the last couple of years on food. We went in there. They had a New York sandwich with all this ham and sauerkraut and everything that was traditional, that was good. Variations of that. They had Preston had a piece of cornbread with this amazing pulled pork on it that I didn't even get to try because he inhaled it so fast. It was so good. Desserts wise, they had an egg roll that was a what was it? Cookies and cream egg roll, and it was, oh my God, it melted in your mouth. All their hot dogs and sausages, they had multiple plays on that. We
what
had
was
some
it
of
like?
those that were
Like
good.
fried ice cream? Is it?
It was kind of, I mean, it was like an egg roll, a traditional egg roll. Just inside of it was like a cake type thing that was cookies and cream, and it
Ah,
was unbelievable. That was one of the
wow.
best things I had there. I actually thought about going to get another one for the road just to take it with us. It was that good, but I was so full by the time we got to the 7th inning, I was just stuffed. The food
Yeah.
was so good.
How does it
So
compare to the food in Baltimore?
So Baltimore, and I apologize, I'm trying to get a little in here. William the Lionheart, hello. Um, Baltimore has such a unique flavor because they have a little bit of the different areas of the city. They've got the crab cake capital up there, which is one of the local restaurants here. Phenomenal crab cakes. That's right as you come in. They got a booth that does oysters. Maryland's known for oysters. They got one of the other seafood places that's famous for their oysters. Out in center field, they got Boog's Barbecue, which is Boog Powell, former first baseman. He's got a pit beef, pit ham, and pit turkey spot out there in right field. That is phenomenal. They've got this new party porch in center field, which is, if you're watching the broadcast, they got a shot of it right there. They got some of the local sandwich companies in there. They've just got a local flair of everything that you can just try out there. And then,
Yeah.
all the regulars, of course, nachos and hot dogs and all that. So
We got to work out a way to get to a game together down there.
yeah, I would love to do that. First pitch
Yeah.
coming into Mayo. Mayo has been less than productive the way I like. He's batting under the Mendoza line, Tim. 10 home runs and 31 driven in. He either hits it all or doesn't hit it at all. It's one or the other.
Yeah, with him, it's a process issue. His swing mechanics, I don't know. He just can't seem to get them straight up. He hits the ball hard. He's got a decent barrel rate. When he does get a hold of a ball, he gets a hold of a ball. But he just his process is not there. Striking out almost, he's striking out a third of the time, 33%. That's a high strikeout rate.
That is a killer at that rate. You can't, today's game, you got to put the ball in play. And he doesn't do small ball at all. There's no play with him. 2-0 pitch, takes it for a strike. There's no play with him. Fernando Mendoza, yeah, it's a mini Mendoza line is where I'm referencing there. He can't do any small ball. If you need a runner moved, he's not going backside. If he tries to go backside, he does what he did just there. He drops the shoulder, mechanics go down, and he pops it out of play. So that's a challenge. 2-2 right now on him.
Yeah, he just has failed to launch. He came in with such prospect hype. He was so hyped as a prospect. Everybody thought he was going to be the next big thing in Baltimore, and he just hasn't worked.
Hadn't worked. Ground ball to short, over to first. That's an out. William the Lionheart, Tim, he's got a question for you. He says, I have Taylor Ward on my fantasy team. What has happened to his power?
Yeah, that's a good question. Let me do a little bit of a dive into him and see what I can find out for you. Give me a couple of minutes there, okay?
Yeah, we'll come back to that. Tyler O'Neill up there now hitting 182. This is a guy they need to DFA, in my opinion. They got so much young talent, both on the team now and at the next level in the outfield.
Yeah, re-signing him was a real head scratcher.
Well, they didn't have a choice. He had it in his clause that it was his choice if he wanted to come back, not theirs.
Oh, right.
So they had no choice. Let me try to get the Orioles going here if I can do something here. Ready? Let's see if that gives them a little help there. 1-1 right there. 1-2 now as it comes in top of the line. I've got actual graphics and videos from the board down there in Camden Yards. The guy that was the creative director of those 1-2 is down low, 2-2. The guy who actually did all of those, I got in contact with out in California, and he gave me permission to use them, which was awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
2-2 coming into O'Neill. Ball down low, 3-2.
I love those little drop-ins. Those are great.
Tavares on deck following O'Neill. If they get that far, Holiday and Alexander's been a bright spot for them this year. They've gotten more out of him. He was a fill-in pickup for the infield. Ground ball over to third. It's foul. He was a fill-in to be behind the starting Orioles that they had, Mayo and Holiday, and of course Westberg at the time. And there were so many injuries. He's gotten playing time, and boy, his numbers have been on it. He's been the only guy on the team hitting up over 300 the whole entire year, which is amazing.
Yeah, he's been terrific. He hits the ball hard too. He's got a 46% hard hit rate. That's a decent hard hit rate. But on top of that, he gets on base. 357 OBP.
Yeah.
He's been a revelation for them. He's been terrific.
Yeah, it's been a nice pickup to have that and see that exit velo up in the high 90s, hitting 1-0s. 104, 105 on a consistent basis is key. I don't need a guy that hits exit velo 113 every 25 at bats. I need
Right.
a consistent 95, 98 every at bat. Ball four inside as O'Neill takes the walk. God, he's huge. He looks like he's been forklifting trucks. At O'Neill. Tavares coming in. That's another nice acquisition. Leote has done more for the Orioles than they thought they would. He's hitting 247, 2 home runs. Been a consistent player this year. I do like that. Tries to bunt and pulls back. He did not go. So, Amigo, welcome in from Southern California. Hello, my friend. Anybody else who's new, say hello in the chat. I am sitting here having some fun today, calling the game with DK Baseball Clinic's national advisor, Tim McCullough, ball down low, and just giving you the information. So, hey, help us out today. Hit a like, subscribe if you're new. We're going to try to get up to, let's say, 440 on subscribers. Let's try to pick up 16 new friends that follow the channel today from those coming in. Hit a like, and that helps us. Tavares swings and misses. 2-1, way out in front of the sweeper right there. Been impressed so far with Tavares. His record hasn't showed a lot, Tim, but man, his mechanics are fluent for a left-hander there.
Yeah. He's been terrific for them. Really been good.
Yeah, I'm definitely impressed. And
Yeah.
Orioles, hold on, ground ball to third. They're gonna twist it over to second, back to first. Oh no, the Orioles go down.
He's out. Double play.
The Orioles go down in the inning, and the second is over. So we're having some fun. PN Martinez, hello, good morning. Say hello in the chat if you're new. Both Tim and I would love to welcome you in to it. Tim, you've been around baseball a lot of times. Do you have a favorite ballpark that you've attended?
My favorite park is PNC Park in Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my
That is
God, yes.
a great ballpark.
No matter where you sit. I've sat first base side, I've sat left field, and I've sat right field. All of them fantastic.
Yep. I mean, I took my kids there. Oh boy, it's quite some time ago, close to 20 years ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And we sat behind home plate. They had fireworks after the game over the river. It was just we had the best time at that stadium, and the people were terrific too. That was what struck me. It was how great the people were.
Welcome into Monorail Molly into the chat. Hello from you know where. There's Roger Rabbit. I haven't seen Roger. I missed our Roger Rabbit little. I forgot all those ones that were in there. We've got some good ones. Good. And Jen hitting up Mr. Sandwich. Tim, that is my channel mascot for the Orioles. I'll share him with you here.
I'm Mr. Sandwich. You're watching the Pete McDevitt Show. Let's go O's!
Mr. Sandwich started because I had a sandwich here one day, and I had my daughter's golden retriever in here, and he was sitting there staring at it, trying to get it, and I started talking like the sandwich was talking to the dog, and next thing you knew, Mr. Sandwich was born. So
Love it.
I'd love to see Mr. Sandwich down there with the Oriole bird one day. That would make my day. So, all right, go ahead.
I'm still trying to dive into Taylor Ward here. The big thing is he's not pulling the ball in the air. He's not putting the ball in the air on his pull side. That's one problem right away. That's where you have the most success.
Yes.
As a hitter, is pulling the ball in the air. It's got to be on your pull side. So he's not doing that. He's instead spraying the ball all over the field. A lot of stuff going the opposite way, or right down the middle of the field. The other thing is his battle rate is basically freighted.
Okay.
He's battling the ball up about 5% of the time.
Well, there's some of your challenge. That's two big factors. Right now, we got up at the plate. We got the shortstop for the White Sox, Acuna. He's got two balls over to him. Here comes Kramer, the pitch. Rocket shot down to third. Nice play by Alexander to his glove side, and he'll flip it over. Man, that was Brooks-esque in the way Robinson used to slide so gracefully to the right. and Alexander just did it. That was impressive. That'll bring up the ninth here in the lineup, Romo, the catcher. That was a pretty play.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Nice.
I'm a huge, being a former pitcher, I love good defense. I go crazy more for defense sometimes than I do for the offense as I watch it. And again, there's Alexander jumped into a spot and doing it right there as we do. I was looking at over here, trying to see. There's the good emoji. I love that emoji. Look at some of our emojis. Of course, for Mr. Doug, we've got that emoji. That's probably his favorite. If you guys aren't using the emojis, Jen came in and hit up Roger Rabbit. We have some of our Disney-esque emojis in there. We've got still keep the Ravens emoji in there. For any football fans, football season's coming. We're going to be broadcasting over 100 games of the NFL this year. So make sure you're hitting it up. We always have the baseball emojis in there every game for both teams that we're playing. Here's a fly ball from Romo over to right field. That's going to be playable in the sun for an out. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Orioles can do this year, if they can get out there and come back into this. You mentioned pitching at the beginning of the contest. I don't know how many pitchers are out there or what they're going to have to get up to go buy and get those pitchers. That's a big question, Tim. I'm curious, as the leadoff hitter steps back in, Antonucci, what do you think? I mean, I think they would have to give up a good amount to get some quality pitching.
Well, I think, pitching, starting pitching especially, is going to come at a premium at this deadline. There is plenty of pitching out there. I mean, there are guys out there that are probably going to be moved. Sandy Alcantara from the Marlins.
That's a good one.
Reed Detmers from the Angels, who suddenly looks like Cy Young out there. The Red Sox could move Sonny Gray if they decide to sell out. Casey Mize from the Tigers might go. Jose Soriano from the Angels. And, of course, the big one is Tariq Skubal. There's a very good chance that Skubal is going to be dealt. I think that the Tigers don't see their window as being open this year. I think they're now looking towards either 27 or 28 as being when they're going to contend. So they might maximize what they can get for Skubal now.
That would be interesting. I just hope he doesn't. The Dodgers have already ruined baseball in my mind. 3-1 count coming to Antonucci, by the way, who's 1 for 1 today. As Kramer looks in, right-hander rocks and fires. Ground ball over to first, fielded by Mayo. He's going to flip to the pitcher covering. That'll end the inning. We're going to the bottom of the third here as we do it. When we come back in just a second, as we go into the next inning, I do want to talk about Skubal and the Dodgers. I really feel that there's going to be a break in the action coming with the two not being on the same side. And we'll talk about that for what could happen after this season with our good friend Tim in just a minute. Want to say, hey, check out these people that support us. We greatly appreciate them. Couldn't do it without them. Hit that subscribe while we're doing this. Trying to get up to 440 today. We'll be right back.
Hello, everyone. It's Chris with Park Hopper Choppers. If you're headed down to Central Florida and you need a mobility scooter, give us a call, 407-989-9618. We can bring it right to your resort, right to the park, or right to your Airbnb, no problem. We were voted best mobility scooter rental in Central Florida by my mom. Give us a call.
Rob and Melanie Striffler by Dream Vacations is an authorized Disney vacation planner. Our travel agency's knowledge of Disney products has earned us the distinction of being named an authorized Disney vacation planner. We were given this special designation by Disney as a result of our agency's ongoing focus and commitment to planning customized, magical trips to Disney parks, Disney Cruise Line, and other Disney vacation destinations worldwide.
Welcome to Coffee Talk with Doug. Join Zippy D and the guys every single day. That's Monday through Saturday at 9 a.m. Don't miss it.
This portion of the Pete McDevitt Show is brought to you by Puddles at the Theme Park in partnership with Fast Pass Radio, bringing you Disney magic from the parks. And your free 24/7 soundtrack to Disney parks around the world.
Do love me some Fast Pass Radio. Amazing. Main Street Nick, welcome in. And Detmers is a K machine. He is a K machine. There's no doubt. Coming up this inning, Holiday and Alexander, 8-9 and 1. Henderson. That's where you flip the lineup. Now Henderson in your leadoff does get an additional at bat, and he's hitting in an RBI position if they can get on. Spartacus, welcome in. Can the O's pitch and keep it under 5 today? Right now, I'd say yes. They're on that path to moving that way. I don't know. Let's chat for a second here. The Dodgers have loaded up with what they've done over the last couple years, and I think that has really brought to light as the ball 2 comes into Holiday, the fact that the team's overall organizations are uneven on their payroll levels, what they're able to do, what teams are able to afford in different locations. So my question to you is, do you agree or disagree with me that the Dodgers have kind of created this challenge as ball 3 comes in? Dodgers have kind of created this challenge of we got to get the payrolls together.
I disagree with you, actually.
Okay.
Payroll doesn't necessarily guarantee success. There have been plenty of teams with low payrolls that have made it to and won the World Series in recent years. Yes, the Dodgers are currently, they're currently viewed as the evil empire now, right? But in the past, we've had the evil empire in New York. We've had the evil empire in other cities too. We're looking at Boston, with their record of success earlier in the century here. They were looking at Boston as the evil empire. They had top payroll.
Holiday takes the walk, by the way, real quick. We got Alexander.
I don't
keep
think
going
there's
on.
any correlation between payroll and winning. Look at the Mets. They're spending just as much money as the Dodgers. They haven't won a World Series, have they?
No, they haven't. I guess my challenge is Alexander tries to bunt. Again, I brought up before the Orioles not doing well in small ball, and here they are again. T-Bone, I get to your comment in just a minute. T-Bone brought up some great information there about Ward right there. Dave's Disney Dreams, welcome in as well. The challenge I guess I have as I sit here from a sports perspective across looking at 2 sports that I follow with baseball and football. Football put a focus cap and a focused basement for teams, which led to obviously revenue sharing, which helps all of the teams all the way through. And your parity is more consistent. And I think the parity makes the game quality of the games a lot better in my mind. Do you think that if they institute a ceiling and a basement on this, that it brings more parity across baseball to give teams, lower end teams that have not done it well? Strike 3, Alexander goes down, first down of the inning, to give teams like a Colorado or a Pittsburgh, for that example, or even low end players like, trying to think, like a Milwaukee. Does it make them have more opportunity if they do that, Tim?
I think Milwaukee's done just fine. Milwaukee's done quite well for a team that has a payroll as low as theirs. They're known for developing their pitching, and they've put a good team on the field. Look, I completely disagree with the idea that having a salary band, and let's just call it what it is, it's a band, because you have a floor and a ceiling. I don't think that has anything to do with competitive balance.
Okay.
I don't think football is any more balanced than baseball is. This is about developing players and spending money wisely. I think what's happening now is that the owners want to put the onus on the players for putting the product on the field. Well, it's not their job. They're the entertainment. They're the product, and it's up to the teams to manage their money wisely and develop their players wisely to put a good product on the field that people are going to want to go to see.
That's a great point. Henderson flies to center field real quick for the second out of the inning. He swings at a ball up in his eyes and can't catch up with it. Rushman now up there, ground ball over to him, over to second, and he'll flip to the pitch to the first baseman. That's going to end the inning. Keep going on your point, Tim. I think that's a great point.
Yeah, I think the players are diametrically opposed to any kind of a cap.
Yes, they are.
Without a floor. And the thing about the floor is you have teams like Pittsburgh and the Marlins and the Rockies who are more than happy to take whatever revenue gets shared now among the league, put a crappy product on the field, and call it a day. They don't do anything about developing their team, developing their players. The Rockies haven't developed a good position player in years.
Excellent point.
It's a poorly managed team from top to bottom. Now, hopefully, they're turning things around now. They've got a new general manager, and he's looking to build something a little bit more lasting. But the onus is on the teams and ownership to build a proper team and put a good product on the field. It's not on the players to give up their rights to play wherever it is they want to play and live wherever it is they want to live.
So there, I got a follow-up question for you.
Billionaires can make money.
I got a follow-up question for you. Then
Okay.
does that put more of the? Do you feel that puts more of the onus now when you talk about on the field with utilizing what they're provided to the managers? Like, let's look at the Orioles manager. They bring him in. He was a coach in Cleveland, did a great job as a coach in there for the Orioles. He's been given a ton of talent, and look at the way they've lost some of these games this year. They have had some atrocious losses. They were up 2 runs. I forget who it was. Recently, they were up 2 runs against somebody, maybe Seattle, that they were up 2 runs in the 9th, and they end up losing. Yes, pitchers got to be held accountable. We had a couple walks in the inning, 2 walks in the inning, but they lost the game on a throw that came home from the outfield, went over the catcher's head, and the winning run comes in. They've had games where they've had, plays like that. They had a game recently where there was a soft ground ball to third, and the coach had put in, and all of a sudden Samuel Belsayo is over on first base. Well, they want to give Alonso some days off, and they put a catcher who's never played first base before at first, and he drops balls, and he couldn't make a pick. We had a situation earlier in the year where we played an outfielder in the outfield who had never played outfield before, ever. First time in the outfield in a major league game, and he missed balls. Does the onus come more down on the head coach then, do you feel, with stuff like that? And let me just acknowledge that Vargas is now up there, and he's 0 for 1 today, top of the 4th. You're watching the Baltimore Orioles host the Chicago White Sox here with us today. T-Bone, I want to go back to your comment in just a minute. Do you think that there's more of an onus now with that if they're putting the talent on the field and it's not happening?
Well, but are they putting the talent on the field? Is it appropriate for a team to carry 3 catchers and not have a backup first baseman?
Great call. Great point.
So Basayo didn't belong on first base. He absolutely did not. Were there no other options for the manager at that point? I mean, that's a roster construction issue.
Good point.
The manager is given the players, but who constructs the roster? That's on the GM. That was the problem in Boston. With Alex Cora and the general manager there, they disagreed on roster construction and how to deploy players. Basically, Cora was going to walk. And they decided to let him go instead.
Fly ball center field. Tavares back. Vargas is your first out of the inning. That's going to bring up Benintendi. He's 0 for 1 today. That's a great point. Again, and these are a lot of things that the general fan doesn't realize or doesn't think about. Is the total construction operation of a team, even as far down as you go even further below the manager when you're looking at a pitching coach, who might not be connecting with the pitchers, and you have pitchers struggling. We've seen that before with good back in the day for Atlanta with Bobby Cox. And I can't remember offhand who the pitching coach was, but they were struggling to win games. And you had what turned out to be several Cy Young pitchers there and Hall of Famers with Glavine, Maddox, and Smoltz. And he changed pitching coaches, and the next thing you know, they're taking off. So it's all those little nuances.
Yeah, it is. And, the thing is, though, the whole organization has to buy in to what's being done. And, I mentioned Craig Breslow and Alex Cora. There was a philosophical difference of opinion in how the team should be put together and who should be deployed. And Cora, who's very much a player-oriented guy,
yes, he is.
Standing up for his players and saying, "Look, I need to play this guy here," and Breslow was bucking up against that and saying, "No, we want you to do this," and so the whole organization has to buy into what's going on.
That's a great point. Great point. 1-2 coming to Benintendi, who's been an Oriole killer through the years. Here's the pitch by Kramer. Ground ball over to second. First baseman's going to take it actually in the 4-hole. Flips to Kramer covering, and that's an out. 2 down here as we continue moving along. We're sitting here talking today with our good friend Tim. He is the national advisor for DK Baseball Clinics. We're going to talk about DK and what they do here at the middle of the fourth here, 1 out away here in just a minute, just to prep Tim on where we're going with our broadcast. I really appreciate you being here today. Tim's analysis of baseball players and their statistics is good information all the way around. You can learn a lot from it. Of course, you have a love for fantasy baseball, Tim, as we picked here to Montgomery, who has been just unreal as I've watched him. Numbers don't fully show everything this guy's done in the clubhouse. And speaking of that, there's a rip to right field. That's going to go bang off the top of the wall. That may be a home run. He's cruising into second with a double. I'm trying to see where that hit. If that landed on top of that bullpen area that they used for the grounds crew, they're waiting for it right now. They're going to go challenge it. Chicago's going to challenge. Tim, I got to be honest. I think that came off the top of that little dugout bullpen area that they used for the grounds crew there. And if it is, that's a 4-bagger.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Ooh. No.
Hey, by the way, we were talking about.
Go ahead.
We were talking about the pitching coach for Atlanta, Leo Mazzoni.
Thank you. They brought in Mazzoni, and things took off. Loved him. I think that's going to stand as a double. It looks like it hit off the pad right there in front of that, which will be good for the Orioles because that'll save a run. Kramer's got a chance to get out of the inning. But, I mentioned earlier at the beginning, Tim, Kramer in home runs, his statistics over his career, that's been his challenge area of pitching for him.
Yeah, he's really, throughout his career, he's given up the long ball. I had looked it up before, and I set aside that page, but I'll find it again. He gave up, this year he's giving up, 3 home runs per 9 innings or something crazy.
My God.
You can't do that.
It's bad enough to give up 3 just extra base hits, double or triple, that in a game. But when you're talking home runs, and if they become, we call them here in Baltimore, just so you know, Earl Weaver was nationally known during his time. He wanted to get 2 guys on and let one of the big blank hitters get up there and hit a home run. Earl's language was not appropriate for my broadcast, even though I loved him. That was called the Weaver. That's what we call it here in Baltimore. You're looking for a Weaver.
That's great. Yeah, Kramer. Okay, I'm looking at Kramer's numbers now. For home runs this year, he's already given up 4. And actually, that doesn't count today. So that's 5 home runs
in 3 starts.
And that's like 13 innings, 14 innings, something like that. His rate Now, this is prior to today's game. It was 3.2 home runs per 9 innings. But traditionally, I mean, his 1.3 home runs per 9 innings has been his, over the course of his career. That's not good either. You want to see that number below one, less
Yeah,
than one home run per 9 innings. Uh,
absolutely. Welcome into
so, yeah,
everybody. Glad you're here.
it's a real problem.
Glad you're here today. I'm sitting with a good friend, Tim McCullough. We're calling the game today. It is the Chicago White Sox versus the Baltimore Orioles live from Camden Yards. Hit that subscribe. We're trying to get up to 440 today. We're looking for 13 new friends who want to watch baseball or football with us. It is going to be called a double and called as it on the field. It stands, so it was not a confirmed call, but it stands. So we'll go with it. That's going to bring up Gonzalez, who's been a hot hitter this whole weekend, to see if he can get the run in here in the top of the fourth as the White Sox hold a 1-0 lead. Hit that sub today. Say hello in the chat if you're new. We welcome all fans onto this channel. We guarantee you two things. One, we're going to do our best to make it fun and engaging for you. And two, you'll be treated with respect. No, there's no bashing over here like on some other channels. We don't allow that. We make it fun and enjoyable, as if we were all sitting in the stadium, having a beverage and a dog and enjoying the game. William the Lionheart says, what's your take on Boz worth the signing? Not what they spent. I'll be curious to see what Tim says. They went 5 years on Boz. I know he hasn't had a lot of starts. He's only had like 60, 68, 69 starts going into this year. Ball down low, 2-0 to Gonzalez right there. He hadn't had a lot of starts because of injuries. I don't know that you give him 5 years what the Orioles invested him without the truly proven record. Jay, welcome in. You need Gonzalez here. Hello, Jay. How you doing? Hit that subscribe today. Help us out. Tim, what do you think? Did the Orioles overspend for Boz at 5-year commitment like they did?
I think at this point, a 5-year commitment to any starting pitcher is kind of crazy. I mean, you look at the injuries and the risk involved in signing a pitcher. I mean, look what happened to Spencer Strider. He was the best pitcher in baseball a couple of years ago.
Yes, he was.
Now he's just a guy, and he's spending most of his time on the injured list. And, that is the truth of baseball. The way these guys are throwing now, the way they shape their pitches, and the velocity that they're generating. The human body wasn't made to do that.
Yeah.
And so signing any pitcher for any kind of lengthy contract carries with it a great deal of risk. And then to do that with a pitcher who's got a long track record of injuries and a short track record of success, it's kind of irresponsible.
Well, we get the walk there for Gonzalez. Get the walk for Gonzalez. And that's going to bring up Meadroth. He's 0 for 1 today. Solid, consistent hitter. Kramer going to kick and deal to him. Runners on first and second with 2 away. Fly ball down the right field line. O'Neill lays out for it and going to make the play as he loses his sunglasses on the ground. Kramer tips the hat to him. I'll say one thing for O'Neill. He hadn't hit this year when he's played, but my God, he has made some defensive plays laying out the field, and he does it again. That's an easy triple. If he misses that, that's 2 runs and a triple that he just saved. Beautiful play, and the game goes 1-0 here into the bottom of the 4th inning. Wow, that was a pretty play, Tim.
That was gorgeous. That was unbelievable.
I love it. Love the defense.
He's been a good fielder. That's how he gets hurt, though, being aggressive in the field.
Great call. Yes. Yes. Welcome in. Hatbox Ghost. Jerry's coming in from the middle of the country. Good to see you, buddy. Spartacus, hope they get on track. Yes. Real quick here, I want to go back and just highlight. I want to talk about DK, but I'm going to put that on pause for 1 second. T-Bone had a great comment earlier. I want to acknowledge that. Again, everybody, hit that subscribe and sub it up if you're new to us. He said, was talking about Ward, and he says Ward's power is down because he's not squaring up on his bat in the zone, which was kind of what Tim was referencing. His barrel rate was 13.7% in both of the last two seasons. It's down to 5.3%. Again, backing up what Tim said. That was a great call. Thank you, T-Bone, for that. And thank you for subscribing in Endeavor 68. We're trying to get up to 440 today as we work towards 60,000 followers. DK Baseball, talk a little bit about that for a second, if you wouldn't mind, Tim. I think I've been proud to be affiliated with DK.
Yeah, and we're very happy that that you have chosen to help us out. You know, we look to honor the small guy, the people in the background, the people in the shadows of baseball, who use baseball as a way to better their community and better better the lives of people around them, and do it selflessly. Uh, for example, one of the guys we honored this year was a groundskeeper for a small town league in Texas, and he spent 15 years grooming the fields, and did it, just because he wanted to leave things better than he found them, and that's why we honored him.
Love it.
So those are the kind of people we look for.
And in between next inning, I'll talk about the last honoree that we did. The young man that we honored just back on, was it June 14th? I think we did that. We'll talk about that, highlight that again real quick. Orioles are going to send up Ward, Alonso, and Mayo, a channel that I love, the channel name, Be More Business. I love it. 207 says, I can't watch this team anymore, so I'll watch them through you. Come on in anytime. Hit that. Make sure you're subscribed. We welcome you here all the time. Ward is up there right now. He's got a 1-2 count to him. Schultz has been solid. 3-inning pitch. No hits, no runs, no errors. 3 walks, 3 Ks. He's balanced right now. The biggest thing is Orioles have not put any ball in the grass yet, as Ward strikes out at a ball at 96 miles per hour. That's one of the challenges, too, I've seen with this year with the team, Tim, is lack of consistent hitting up and down the lineup. Bobby Bonilla is at the game today. No wonder. He just got paid $1 million, it's Bobby Bonilla Day, isn't it? Isn't it July 1st is Bobby Bonilla Day?
I think it is. I think you're
he's
right.
there today getting his paycheck. Oh, I love it. Here comes Alonso. He fouls it back. The lack of hitting up and down the lineup has been frustrating.
Yeah, they really had a tough time. It's just if you can't hit a fastball, if you can't hit fastballs, you're in trouble. And that's probably what's going on here. I can dig a little deeper in and see what's going on with the Orioles, but my initial impression is that they're not digging in on the fastballs you need to dig in on, and they're not being aggressive enough at the plate.
I agree.
I'll see if I can back it up.
While you're digging, I'm going to try to get them going here. See if Alonso can find something. 1-2 pitch coming in. Ball upstairs. Yeah, $1.3 million for Bobby, but it's smart. If you're a player, that's a smart thing. He has now secured himself financial security through the balance of his life, rather than getting it all up front, paying a higher tax rate. Everybody can be mad about it, but it's stupid. The one that I can't stand is Chris Davis did the same thing, and that guy never deserved to be paid a cent. I'm sorry. I disagree with that one. That was one of the dumbest things the Orioles. The 2 things in my mind, or 3 things in my mind, dumbest things for the Orioles through the year. Giving Chris Davis the what they did. 1. 2, here's the pitch to Alonso. Swings at a ball in the dirt. That's his problem. He's swinging at bad pitches. I've said that all year long. Pitches in the other batter's box, pitches down low when he strikes out. 2 outs here in the 4th. So the deal there with Chris Davis. The second one was literally trading Eddie Murray for nobody when they trade. They didn't get much for him when they traded him with Cleveland. I think they got him for basically Alan Wiggins or somebody like that. And then the third one is not trading someone when they should, as Mayo fouls off the first pitch. They had a chance when Brady Anderson hit 50 to trade him and build up for the next couple years, and they didn't do it. And I'll even add in a fourth one. Getting rid of Pete Harnish and Schilling when they did to the Astros, I believe is where they both went. And man, they got nothing for him. And look at what Schilling ended up going to do with Boston and years down the road. What a great pitcher. Just some dumb things that down the system for the O's as Mayo steps back in.
Well, every team makes their bad trades. I mean, the Red Sox are famous for letting Mookie Betts go. I mean, that was just
Mookie Betts. That was stupid. God, yeah. Why did that? I remember shaking my head the day I heard that. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yep.
That's a kid to build your team around, right there.
Right. Yep. And instead they let him go, and
rest is history.
They've gone since.
Yep. Mayo fouls off another one. He's coming up on pitch 5 in the sequence here. He's got an 0-2 count. Orioles don't even have a hit. White Sox only have 2, so Kramer has done well. The challenge is one of those, is in somebody's glove going home with them, and that's the challenge there. 0-2 pitch coming from a lefty. Schultz in. Pitch number 60. Grounded foul again. If you're brand new, hit that subscribe today. Trying to get up to 440 on the subscriber count. We could use your help. We're on our way to 60,000. That'll be our next big celebration. Eddie, eating, drinking, be Murray. Yes. I love Chris Berman and all his Bermanisms. I love that they're called that, and there's some great, through the years, we couldn't even sit here and list them all. There's another foul ball. Man, Mayo is all over this kid. If he can just get something he can square. 0-2 coming, pitch 62. Mayo calls timeout. Mr. Splash is out there. This is a day you want to be sprayed by Mr. Splash out in left center. As hot as it is, 100 degrees out there. That would be a beautiful thing. Right-hander Mayo steps in, taps the bat. He's ready to go. Schultz comes to the set. Kicks and touches. He's gone. Fouled off again. I give Mayo credit. We're up to pitch 7 of the sequence. At least he's driving the pitch count up for Schultz here. He's helping the teammates behind him. Taterhead says the New York Mets are famously still paying retired players. Yes, they are. But he is getting paid by a couple teams. He wasn't stupid. The guy was smart. He's bringing home like $2.5 million a year right now for being retired and doing nothing. Another foul ball. Mayo needs a haircut. Up there sweating like it. All that sweat in his hair. Right-hander steps in. Rhythmic applause being created by the sound system in Baltimore. Schultz looks in. He's been fabulous today with his location and timing and speed. And there it is, strike 3. Got him on the outside corner. And it might have been a ball down low as Mayo slams the bat to the ground in frustration. Peters, Acuna, and Romo coming up. I want to share with everybody. We did this back on June 14th. We are proud to do this and partner. We featured one of the recipients of the DK Baseball Clinic's Legacy Tribute Program. This went to a young man out in Sudbury, Mass. And Tim, were you present for any of this presentation?
I was there. Yes, I was there.
This is a beautiful thing that you guys do. Could you talk just a second about this?
Yeah. Well, we presented to Tyler Sears' mother. Now, Tyler was 15 years old when he passed away. He had leukemia, and he had actually beaten the leukemia. He was cancer-free. But at the end of the treatment for that, his immune system was completely down, and he died of an infection that he got after the cancer treatment. So we presented it back to his mother. He passed away 10 or 11 years ago. And they still talk about Tyler around town. They still talk about him. The kids that played with him still talk about him. And several of them came to this ceremony.
Nice.
There wasn't a dry eye in the house. One of the things that his mother said is that, people are afraid to talk to her about Tyler because they think it's going to upset her. But, what she's really more upset about is that people have forgotten him.
Right.
And she doesn't want people to forget him. And so we're hoping that by presenting this bat and bringing his name back to the town and to the folks in the town that knew him back then, that we'll keep his legacy alive. But his bat actually says on it "Forever 15."
Love it. Beautiful presentation. There's
It really
Peters
was.
leading it off. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Peters with a line drive base hit to right field. He smoked that. I love that you do that. I love that you look at opportunities for that. Of course, that resonates with me. When I heard he passed by an infection, that was an infection is what almost took me out. So I was very, very touched by when I read everything about that young gentleman and the nice presentation you guys do. And those are the things, ladies and gentlemen, when I say I'm proud to partner with a organization like DK that has so much class and etiquette. Oh, going to bunt. Acuna going to go to second. Kramer. He just gets the out. Just barely. Woo! Kramer took a chance and dug out of the dirt by Henderson, and he toes the bag like a first baseman. Nice job. William the Lionheart says, Tim, how can they nominate somebody?
How can they nominate? Get a hold of me.
There you go. Get a hold of Tim. William, I can give you an email or there, or Tim, if you want to give it, I can share that out. You can, Tim, just reach out to me, send me an email or direct message, and I'll get you Tim's information and send it over. Yeah, because that was what almost took me, and so I have definitely had an understanding touch for his family and what goes through. Throw to first as Acuna is over there, and he's got wheels. Romo, the catcher, now up, who's 0 for 1 today, only hitting 135. Not surprising that we're having two pitchers that are going at each other. The potential of both of these are impressive. Oh my God, Acuna with a monster lead. I think I could have stolen that base with as far as he got out there on Kramer. Oh my gosh. I guarantee you he's going in this sequence if he gets another jump like that. He was easily 2 feet past the cut.
Yeah. Wow.
He's still over there dancing like a chicken in hot plate. Foul ball, 1-1. Hey, anything you can do to agitate the pitcher. I had a guy one time that was doing that to me. It was back my senior year of high school who was over there doing all that dancing. And I called the first baseman over and acted like I was telling him about something going on with the game. There's a pitch 1-2. Pitch 1-2. Kramer's got to keep him close to give Adley a chance. Adley's been good this year, but somebody that has a lead out to the cut or beyond, with speed, I don't even think Adley can get him. Yeah. Kramer's holding and looking, trying to untie. He goes. Here's the pitch down low. Adley comes up firing out at second base. Take a seat over there as the tradition continues this year in 2026 of the players grabbing the ball down the first baseline and trying to back tag the runner as they're getting in, and they do, and there's not even going to be a challenge. He's out here. 2 outs, 2 balls, 2 strike pitch. Adley down the first toward first base. The tag on the backside before he gets to the bag. Man, that's pretty. That was a nice play right there.
Yeah. Great throw.
Have you been watching that trend of these catchers trying to throw into the first base side now? That seems to be the new motif that everybody's taking. 2-2 here coming in as we go through. So I call over my first baseman and act like I'm talking about throwing over to him. And I said, tell this guy, if he keeps doing that, his next at bat, I'm going to put this baseball in his teeth. And I saw him go back and tell him, and the look of the guy had pizza sauce or eyes out there. But I said, if he doesn't believe me, watch this next pitch where it goes. So the next pitch, I threw it up and tight on the hitter for a ball, didn't hit him, just up and tight. And then I just gleamed over to first base, and the guy tipped his hat, and the dancing chicken stuff stopped. Of course, I was in high school. I was throwing 94, so I had a little bit behind it where I had a little coverage. If I was throwing 70, people would have said, "Hit me, please." I don't care.
You were throwing 94 in high school?
Yeah, I was. I'll tell that in a second. 2-2 pitch. Kramer rocks and deals into Romo. Ground ball rolled over the hands, flips it to first. Mayo's going to take it, touch a bag. That'll end the fifth. We're going to the bottom of the fifth for Baltimore. Still looking for their first hit as O'Neill, Tavares, and Holiday come up here in the bottom of five. In high school, I was throwing 94. That was my top. I was averaging 90 to 92 on a standard basis. And that was back in the day. Of course, we're talking 80s, 87 86 was my time parameter. And I was being talked to consistently or recruited by Joe Consoli for the Pittsburgh Pirates, who was a great scout for them for many years for them. God rest his soul. Welcome in, Mr. Fred said. How you doing, my friend? Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And I was also talking to North Carolina and the University of Texas. And back then, they gave you 80%. That was considered a full ride type thing. They didn't give you 100% back then. There wasn't the boosters and the money like it was. And I actually went down to Carolina for a recruiting trip, and I met Dean Smith, and I just missed meeting Michael Jordan because he was over on the facility that day, which stunk because I'm a huge Michael Jordan fan. And so my dad, unbeknownst to my dad, I made the decision that I was going to go pro and not go to college on the ride. And I called the North Carolina representative and declined their offer on the phone. And a week later, I was playing on a travel, well, they called it travel back then. It wasn't called that. I forget what they called it. It wasn't like today's travel baseball and, everything they have with, perfect game and all that stuff. It was just different back then. But I was on a team that had Mark Belanger's kids, Terry Crowley's kids, Brian Jordan from the Braves and the Falcons played on the team. Jeff Nelson, who pitched for the Yankees and the Mariners, has a couple World Series rings. He was on the team. We had a talented, deep team back then. And I got hurt in playing Lock Raven High School here in Baltimore. We were playing a game, and it was those bags. Remember the bags where you nail the stake into the ground type thing?
Yeah.
It was those bags, and when I slid into second, my foot caught on it. I did a slide stand, and I tore some of the muscles in my back and got hurt. And my father was furious because if I'd have signed on to North Carolina, I'd have still been able to go there. I could have rehabbed there. I'd have been covered, but because I didn't. So, life brings you full circle. I ended up supporting the military, and that was God's path for me. I ended up coaching a lot. Here comes a pitch to O'Neill, second pitch of the sequence, 1-1 right now, 1-1. I ended up doing a lot of coaching, and I've taught a lot of kids baseball and a lot of girls softball, and that's been a beautiful thing. And I have loved doing that. 1-1 pitch outside for a ball, 2-1. I've been able to share the love of the game through many that I've worked with and helped. I've had a couple girls go to college and play college ball, a couple boys go to college that I taught. So I believe that was my path. Oh, there's a shot. Long fly ball. O'Neill's looking toward the left field stands. Way up. See you later, baseball. What a play out in left field by a fan, running back and catching it at home run, distance out 430 feet, 109.5 miles an hour. And Tyler O'Neill steps up and does something he hadn't been doing in a long time. That guy was a left-hander, reached over his shoulder. Somebody needs to go out and tell that fan, we need to give you a Rex Marty contract. Good Lord, that was pretty. That was a shot, Tim.
Yeah, 430 feet. Wow.
Yeah, that was touched. He got up in that. Man, that guy made that catch in a hat. I thought it was a glove. Holy cow!
I'm surprised it didn't make it out to the street.
That thing was touched. Rex Barney, back in the years, was our announcer, and he used to, every time there was a great play in the stands, whether foul ball or home run, he would announce, "Give that fan a contract," and they would literally go out there with this signed contract from Rex Barney, who obviously was the announcer, and just recognized that fan as the fan of the game and was signed for the day as a fan of the game because of their catch. So that's something the Orioles used to do that I used to love. I wish they still did it.
Yeah, well, teams used to do a lot of things that they loved.
We used to have a guy out in section 33 of Memorial Stadium. Wild Bill Heggie was his name. He was a cab driver here in Baltimore, but would go to every game. The guy had a full, massive beard, wore this old straw cowboy hat, and of course, those were the days where you could bring coolers into the stadium and everything. He'd bring a cooler full of Miller Lite or Bud Light, one of the beers, and every time there was a home run, he was passing out beers and. The good old days of baseball.
Yeah, that's back when baseball was fun.
2-2 pitch. Mickey Mantle, actually, there's a story in one of the Mantle books where Mantle talks about he was playing right field for a game, and I forget where it was. I don't remember if it was Detroit, somewhere. Tavares fouls one off down the third baseline. That's going to be out of play. He's got a 2-2 count on him. We got a 1-1 game here going right now. Mantle talked about there was a fan that in between one of the games, a fan gave him a beer on the way into the dugout, and he drank it in the dugout and then went back out with a signed ball for the fan in between innings. So
that's a great story.
That's a great story. Great story. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Tavares here. Schultz trying to regroup after Tyler O'Neill hit one that might still be in Chicago by now. They show movies on flights like that as Tavares swings at a ball in the dirt, strike 3. I'm an old school fan, Tim, when it comes to baseball. And by old school, I mean, yeah, I love the Orioles. I've been a fan and grew up here, but I'm a baseball historian. And like, I am a huge fan of the Yankees from like 61 back to Murderers Row, that time frame. A huge fan of Boston during that time frame, of the Braves, who were the, of course, Milwaukee Braves, and ended up in Atlanta, because the history of the game, in my eyes, you can't tell the purism of it without that window there. Because if you're looking back, that includes Jackie Robinson days and everything with the color break. It does acknowledge and ties in the Negro Leagues, which there's so many great Negro League players. If anybody ever gets a chance, I think it's in St. Louis where the Negro League Hall of Fame is. If anybody ever gets a chance to go there, you got to. It's on my bucket list. I've read about it. I've seen it online, but I want to go there myself. I love the history of the game, Tim. I'm a huge about that.
Yeah, I do too. And yeah, the Negro League Hall of Fame is on my bucket list as well. I did a cross country trip last year. Drove back and forth across the country, and I wanted to go to St. Louis, but I couldn't. I just couldn't get there. And but that was what I was going to do if I went. So now that's back on the list. I have to get out there.
It's on our list from when we do our games this year. Preston and I are on since my illness, my son and I are on a trip thing to see every stadium. That's our goal. Here's the left-hander. Schultz steals to Holiday, strike 2-2 right now with 1 out here in the bottom of 5. This year we went to we did a three stadium tour Memorial Day weekend. We did Philadelphia on Saturday, which had some their graphics and their digital boards fouled off right there. Their digital boards are sick, the best I've ever seen. It was like a college football environment in a baseball stadium.
Oh wow!
Well, they got the All-Star game this year, so they leveled up, and it was impressive. Then we went to the Yankees, and I loved it going to the Yankees because ball low 3-2. They have a museum inside the stadium that is ridiculous. I mean, the history was just flowing out. It was like having a cup of soda and you poured it too much and it's just overflowing, because that's the history of it. They had baseballs there signed by Gehrig and DiMaggio and Mantle and Ruth and just name after name after name. They had jerseys there hanging that were just incredible. All those guys had their jerseys, a little segment, everything. And then, of course, we went out and did the Monument Park. and got to touch the monuments of Mano and DiMaggio. And, here's a pitch, ball outside, taking a walk out. It was sick. And then, of course, I talked about your favorite team, the Mets, one of your teams. We went there and just loved it. Now, in 2 weeks, Tim, I'll tell you, 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks from this Saturday, we got something special going as the pitching coach comes out to talk to him right now. So we got a break in the action here. Preston and I are going out to see the Cubs play the Reds at Great American. I've been there years ago with the military. Preston has never been there, so this is his first time going to that stadium, which I'm excited about. We're going July 11th. July 11th.
I'm going to the game on the 12th.
Oh man! Well, here's the thing: if you'd have been there on the 11th, you would see Preston and I throwing out the first pitch.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So one of our friends who's a follower of our channel, or let me say one of our followers who has become one of our friends, his name is David T. He served our country as well as a veteran. He reached out. He works with them with the USO for years. And he reached out to his contact and told him about what I did with my job for the military for 20 plus years. And he also told him my medical story of the journey that's happened. He also talked to him about what we do now as Schultz looks in and pitches to Alexander. That's a ball called a strike. Alexander challenged that. That was 3 feet inside. Oh my God, that's a horrible. We're going to talk. I want to talk about that later. Pitching the new system. We're going to talk about that later in the game.
Okay.
So he reached out to him, told him all about that. Swing and a miss up top, 0-2 to Alexander. And he told him about what we do here with helping veterans, with helping other people in the community, with, we've raised, $13,000 last year for this charity that we partner with, which is called Semper Fi and the Americas Fund, which was created by military spouses. It's a fully vetted 501c charity. 13,000 last year. We're on pace for 15,000 this year. Ground ball ripped into left field, base hit through the 6 hole. Alexander is going to put it in there, and Holiday's going to hold up at second. The Orioles have something going with first and second, and one out here in the 5th as they roll the lineup back to Henderson. So he told him all about that and shared them, and we got a letter. He got a letter about 2 weeks ago that said they would like to invite us to throw out the first pitch, and it's going to be awesome. I've never done that. I've always dreamed of doing that. I'm going to have Preston do it because of, my medical situation. I haven't picked or even tried to throw a baseball, and I don't think I could. But my son is looking forward to going up to the mound and stepping up there and throwing it in and doing it. So it's going to be I'm excited about that.
Wow, that's great.
And it's going to be a packed house with the Cubs in town.
Are you going to be staying overnight in Cincinnati?
Yeah, we're staying. We're coming up Friday night. And we're going to be there Friday night and Saturday night. Friday night, we're going out to dinner with some of the people in the YouTube community. And then Saturday, we're going to the game. And then as soon as we're done the game, we're heading back to the hotel and going to bed because we've got a 5:45 in the morning flight back to Baltimore. There wasn't a lot of flights back here that were direct. There was a multitude of them that went all over the country that could have got me back to Baltimore, but it would take 6 or 7 hours as opposed to a 1 hour flight. And I'm like, we're getting the 1 hour flight. And I wanted to be back because I have a Orioles game at 1 o'clock. I want to broadcast. I have a Disney show at 6. So I wanted to make sure I was back home here to do that. And Preston actually has a tournament that his travel team, or whatever you want to call it, his summer team for college is playing. And he told his coach, look, you guys play on Saturday and do your thing, and then I'll come and pitch on Sunday. So I think they're going to have him pitch Sunday afternoon, which will get him some work in. So it's important to get back.
Yeah. I was going to say we could try to get together, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be.
Yeah, we're going to be hauling because it's a night. I think it's a 4 o'clock. No, it's a night game. We have to be there. We have to be there at 6:10. I'm actually going to be broadcasting from down at the stadium live on Saturday for 4 hours. They're allowing me to do a Hall of Fame tour and to film it in the Reds Hall of Fame, which I think is cool because you have to get special permission for that. They're going to allow me to go into the stadium early and go around the stadium and film and do all my documentation of what all the stadium is. I do that for every stadium we go to. We like to do that. We do a whole filming progress up until the game starts. So Brian Hudson coming in for Chicago. They're changing pitchers. 38 games, 2.13 ERA. Opponents hitting 242. Orioles finally on the board, 1-1. So yeah, we're excited. If that changes though, I got your number. I'll definitely reach out right now. But that's our game plan because I've got to get back.
Yeah, maybe before the game.
Yeah.
I should be there. I'll be there in the afternoon in the Cincinnati area on Saturday.
It'll be easy to find me. All you got to do is turn on my channel, and you'll be able to find out exactly where I am in the stadium or around the stadium. We do the whole outside. I want to go over and see in that restaurant. They have the spot marked where Pete Rose stood at first base in the old stadium from his hit that put him as the all-time hits leader. So
yeah.
What's up, Kareem? Welcome in. So we're gonna film all that. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that's great. Cincinnati's on my list of stadiums that I haven't been to, so this is my first trip there. I'm also going to see the Braves on Monday the 6th.
Nice.
So yeah, getting a couple of ball games in this trip.
Love it. Henderson up there now. 2-1 pitch, 2 on. Here's the shot. Ground ball is going over. Line drive. Going to bounce in right field short. Right fielder comes up gunning, and they're going to hold the runner at third. That ball was hit that sharply, and he was playing that shallow in right field. He got it on a quick one hop and threw a seed to the catcher. And we got bases loaded here with 1 out. And here comes Adley Rutschman, one of the biggest producers this year for the Orioles. This is a great situation. I'm glad I'm on with Tim. Here's the situation where the Orioles have struggled. Less than 2 outs, runners on multiple bases, not being able to get a runner in with a simple fly ball or a ground ball to the proper location. We'll see what can happen here. Rutschman may be going for the right side. We got a lot of people coming in new. Welcome in. We're calling the Chicago White Sox versus the Baltimore Orioles. Hit us up with a follow. First pitch to Rutschman is down here. A little bit of energy. Let's get it going. We'll even double it up and go, hey.
Watching the Pete McDevitt Show. Let's go, O's!
Let's go, O's. And there's a line drive. Base hit by Rutschman into left field. Left fielder comes up firing home. It's going to be station to station for Baltimore. And they're going to put a run up, and it is 2-1. That's how you do it. That's the right way to do it, Tim. They didn't do it like they usually do, because I guess you're here. They wanted to try something different.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to find out what their the team batting average is with runners in scoring position here.
Yeah, I'd love to know what it actually is, because I know it's not where it should be. I mean, when you can make an out and get a run in, come on. Go the other way. Go backside. Do something. Don't try to hit the, I don't need you hitting a grand slam. You could be productive. You win games by adding on throughout the game. 1 out here for Ward. He's 0 for 2 today. 229 average and 6 grand slams in his career with bases loaded. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. There it is right there. He's trying to drive it. Who's my team? Kareem, I live in Maryland, but I'm a diehard baseball fan. I broadcast over 100 MLB games a year on this channel. We're on pace for 120. Come on, Ward. All I need is a fly ball deep enough to get somebody in. We got speed over there on third base. Infernal Nightwolf. What a great channel name. I don't know, Infernal. We're going to wait and see. Here's the pitch. Fly ball. Is it deep enough? Right fielder coming in. Setting up for the throw at home. Caught. Here comes the throw. Alexander coming in. He is safe. Diving in, and the Baltimore Orioles put up another run. It is 3-1 Baltimore right here on the channel as the Orioles doing what they don't usually do. And here comes the pitching coach, I should say, for Chicago back out to talk to him and calm it down. I'll be right back. I'm co-broadcasting today with my good friend Tim McCullough. He is the national advisor for DK Baseball Clinics. Let me bring you into my studio here for just a second. Tim will hang tight. Welcome into everybody just coming in. My name is Pete. This is the show. It is our baseball coverage here. We do a game almost every day, sometimes two a day, especially on the weekends. We'll do double headers, broadcast teams all across the nation for the MLB. And I'd love for you to hit that subscribe and come in here and have some fun as we cover as much as we can. We will be doing the Field of Dreams game. I will be doing the Home Run Derby. I will be doing the All-Star game. I will be doing as many of the playoff games as I can and every game of the World Series right here on the channel. Like I said, we're on pace for 120 games this year. And also, if you are a fan of the NFL, we already have 40 NFL streams up and posted. We are going to do well over 100, probably about 106 NFL games when it's said and done. Tim, did you find any stats about the Orioles with less than 2 outs and men in scoring position?
I absolutely did. So their batting average with runners in scoring position, the team batting average is 241. Their OBP is 330. And the slugging percentage is 385. Now, listen to this. It's not any different than their offense without runners in scoring position. In other words, they're basically on the same team with runners in scoring position as they are without.
That's a challenge.
Yep.
That's a challenge. Which makes it seem like they, when you're watching them and it's really pinpointed, it seems like they're batting 205 instead of the 240 because they're not producing.
Right. Well, there's no clutch hitting.
No clutch hitting. Yep.
No clutch hitting.
Katie Farley, welcome in. Locked on the Milwaukee Brewers is in house. Mandy Adams is in house. Infernal, I've lived in Maryland all my life, but I am a diehard baseball fan of the game itself. So when I call the Orioles games, I call them fair. I call them down the board. I call out the Orioles when the lack of production, and I don't treat the visiting fans any different than I would if I was having dinner with them at my house. I treat people with respect. We welcome all the fans in. We want you here to be with us and hang out. So there you go, my friend. And if anybody else is new, please say hello. We are trying to get up to 440 at least on the subscriber count today. That would be a huge, huge help. I need to get...
All right. So, overall, what I see here with the Orioles is that, they tend to strike out in key situations. They're getting very inconsistent production from the middle of the order. That's
Alonso, perfect example. Great call out.
And difficulty sustaining rallies without home runs. If they don't hit the long ball, they don't score.
Well, and here's Alonso now going 0-2 as he just swung at a slider in the dirt. You got men on first and third, and you're swinging at a slider in the dirt. I wouldn't be surprised if Richards has any common sense to him. He'll bury one in the dirt again. Why not? You got it 0-2. Trust your catcher and try to get Alonso to go fishing in a bass pond with no fish.
Yeah. The thing is, I looked up earlier when we were talking about Alonso, swinging at balls outside the zone. He's really not chasing outside the zone any more than he has traditionally, but he does chase more than the average player.
I didn't realize it because I didn't see him every day. So to me, it jumps off the screen at me. Pitch selection is a huge factor.
Yep.
If I was pitching Alonso, I would bait him off the plate all day long. I wouldn't come anywhere near the plate until I had to because he's going to give it to you. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the inning. The Orioles have put up a couple. White Sox trying to get out of it here in the 5th to Alonso. The problem is if you dance around with those sliders and curveballs and that ball gets away from your catcher, you're in trouble because it's going to be a run because you got speed at third. Infernal Nightwolf, thank you for subbing it up to the channel, my friend. We're working to get to that 440. You just helped us. Thank you very much. Here comes Richard. Buries the slider, drives it down. He does. Going to be off the wall and easily scoring is Henderson. That slider bit in the dirt, took off, hit the wall behind him. Nice play by the catcher to react to it and get it back to the pitcher. But Henderson just too quick getting in, and the Orioles put up another run. It's a gift by the White Sox here. That's what happened. There we just talked about it, and life imitates art right there.
Yeah.
He throws that slide. I don't know if you saw the fingertips on that just when they showed the replay. If you get that on mine, I just got the replay from the center field camera, and he holds that slider almost. It looks almost like a circle change type of slide, but he whips it. That's weird. I haven't seen that like that before. And Alonso takes the walk, so Orioles get a run on an Alonso walk basically here. 4-1 with 2 outs. And bullpen has been, I think, if you had to say Chicago had something that was weaker, I'd say it was the bullpen, if anything. They've played really well this year. They really haven't had a soft spot, which is why their record is the way it is. But I would think this is where the Orioles' opportunity lies, not with the starters, but maybe in the pen.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. The Chicago pen has been rough at best.
We'll see if Mayo here, who we've talked about in depth a little bit earlier in the stream. Hit that subscribe if you're new. Baltimore Orioles hosting the White Sox live here from Camden Yards. Richard looks in and deals. Upstairs, fly ball, 92 miles an hour, and Mayo pops it up to right into that high summer sky. And making the play out there is Montgomery. That'll end the inning, but Baltimore puts up a couple as we move to the 6th. Tim and I will be right back in a minute. We ask you to think about and considering supporting these people that support us. Here's our charity. I am so proud to be partnered with this charity, y'all. We'll drop the link into the chat if you'd like to support the men and women of our United States military. The money goes directly to them through the link, not through us, and 97 cents of every dollar goes back to veterans in need. An advocate I am for this charity.
The Pete McDevitt Show proudly supports the Semper Fi and America's Fund, proudly serving our nation's heroes since 2004. Please click the link in our chat to make a donation and support this incredible organization today.
Whether it's a luxury or fun in the sun, Dave's got the tips to make your cruise #1. Tune in, sit back, let's plan your stay on Cantrell Country's Travelway. It's Cantrell Country's Travelway, setting sail on adventure every day. From island stops to ocean blue, we got your cruising covered through and through.
Thank you for joining us. We hope you're loving the broadcast so far. If you haven't already, take a moment to like the stream and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on future shows. Now, back to the man himself. Here's Pete with more of the Pete McDevitt Show.
All right. We're coming back in. I am blessed to be with Tim McCullough. He is the DK National Advisor for DK Baseball Clinics, and he is a guru when it comes to statistics and fantasy baseball over there. Tim, I loved fantasy baseball. My days of doing that were when it was a newspaper, you know, and the one challenge that I found with my life right now, I don't have the time to compete because today's fantasy baseball player is so engaged and so intelligent and has so many resources that if they spend the time doing it, it's tough to keep up with them. It's a different game today than it was the days when I was running to the newspaper to try to figure something out.
Well, that's true. I mean, you have so many different league configurations now. You know, back then you had the old standard 4x4 and 5x5 stat configurations for the game. Now you can have anywhere. You can have any kind of game you want, and each one can be unique. And of course, it takes different planning to win different types of leagues.
Yes.
So, yeah. Great.
Yes.
It's a time-consuming thing.
Absolutely, but it's worth it. It's 100% worth it. I still dabble a little bit and watch and stuff, but I don't do what I do like I do with football because it's a little bit easier for me to run. Debbie Bernfeld blessing us today with 5 gifted memberships. James, the Dopey Runner, Addiction Mouse, Chris and ND and Catfish Tyler. That's a great name, Catfish Tyler. All blessed. Thank you, Debbie, for blessing myself and Preston and the channel. It means the world to us that you would be care enough to do that. Every penny goes back into the channel. Thank you so much. Ball down low as Antonocci. Up there. He's 1 for 2 leadoff hitter. You're going to get 1, 2, and 3 in the lineup today. And this is where the Orioles have also struggled. The inning after scoring some runs, giving the farm back to the other team, giving it up and starting it out with base hits and runners on base. We'll see what happens here. As I say that, Antonocci drops one into left field in front of Ward. There's the base hit. Good piece of hitting going the other way. He let the ball get through the zone and just flipped it out to left field. That's a nice piece of hitting right there. I hate to say it, Tim.
Hey, you gotta give what the pitchers. You gotta take what the pitchers give you.
Yes.
You're gonna throw to you outside, and you gotta go the other way. It's good to see Antonocci do that. He's a young kid. It's good to see him make adjustments like that.
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, trying to answer a question here about stuff. I got people texting me during the game of asking. I always love that. People, I need an answer on this right now. I turn on my stream. I'm live trying to cover a game. 1 ball, no strikes to Vargas. He's 0 for 2 today. Birds would like to twist a cone here if they could. Pitch from Kramer. Ground ball over to third. Nice play. Over to second to 1. No, they can't turn it as the ball gets to Holiday a little bit off center, and he is just going to hold it. That should have been a double play. Alexander with a nice fielding opportunity, but the throw led Holiday in the wrong direction. They're only going to get a 5-4 put out. Yeah, he totally threw all. That was a bad throw right there. What year did the White Sox debut their shorts uniforms? Mojo, first off, good to see you, Mojo Boogie. Welcome back in. I'm going to say it's 1980. Do you know, Tim?
I'll find out.
72, 80, or 76. He's asking us a trivia question. I'm going to say 80 as a guess. Throw over to first. He's back.
I'll find out.
One ball, no strikes. Benintendi up there, 0 for 2.
1976.
76, the answer was C, Mojo. That's a great trivia question. You can do that more often in my channel. I give you permission. That's a great trivia question.
Yeah.
All outside, 2-0, whip to first, and he's back in there easily. 76, holy cow. All the way back then.
Yeah.
I remember in '83 playing the Orioles playing the White Sox for the World Series and watching that in those days, man. That old Comiskey Park, which was really cool. There's a curveball by Kramer, 2-1. When Preston and I went to the White Sox game 2 years ago, we actually were able, and it's actually going to be. There's a picture of it on our new website when it comes up here shortly, of us standing in the parking lot. They have a spot designated where the original home plate is, and they have the whole circular, like where the dirt is for home plate. They have it all marked right there, which is really cool. So,
that is cool.
Yeah, so you could actually stand at the right there at the old home plate, which I did, of course, because the history, the little things I love. I love little things like that. I'm a huge history just runs through me.
Yeah. I was, you remember who the owner was back in '76?
Who the owner of the White Sox was or the Orioles?
For the White Sox.
Swinging a broken bat, soft rod one to Mayo at first. That's an out. It wasn't Reindorf back then. That was before his time, right?
Right.
God.
This guy was renowned for doing all kinds of radical stuff.
Yeah, and his name's not coming to me. Who was it?
Bill Veeck.
Bill Veeck. Oh, my God, yes. Bill Veeck. He had some dumb votes at the manager's meeting. Oh, my God. Yeah. Two outs here in the inning. Here comes Montgomery. He lost his mind when the Orioles beat them to go to the World Series. We went to the World Series. I forget who he played, 83. But yeah, I remember that in the playoffs getting there. Ripken had a great series that year. Al Bunbury had a great series. Dempsey had a great series. Ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Montgomery. This kid can play, everybody. I like this kid. Chris coming into chat. What's up, buddy? Saying thank you, Debbie. Appreciate you. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs in the inning. Strike 2. Let me answer this person. Glad she's joining. That's awesome. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The Orioles got Cano up in the bullpen. He begins to heat up. Won't take him long in this hot weather. 79th pitch coming from Kramer. 1 on, 2 outs here in the 6th. Ground ball rolls his hands. Going to go over to second. Got to hurry. Flips to the second. Nice job by Holiday, realizing the runner at first, going down the first base line, was flying. Goes to shorter way to second to end the inning here. Let's talk about this for a second, Tim, this whole pitching aspect. I will tell you, I am an advocate for the strike zone challenge, an advocate for it. I think it's long overdue. I still love having the human umpires there. It is holding accountability now. We've had some umpires, and I'm not going to go out and throw out names, but we've had, as the reviews have come in, we've had some umpires where as much as 20% of their calls were wrong, which makes them, they need to get better, which I like that. But my frustration lies with this is not in the system itself, but the utilage of the system. And again, it goes down to accountability of the teams, like we've talked early in the year or early in the stream about top level management down to the on the field management. Granted, you got to make the decision in seconds. The Orioles have been notorious in me watching the games for not challenging a call either way, be it on defense or offense, that would correct the call and help them. And then I kid you not, if it's literally within the next 2 pitches that something happens and they're losing games because of it. That's my frustration. So I think it's a learning curve. I'm curious your thoughts on the new system. I think teams are now going to hire somebody that can study the information and give back to the teams a better way to utilize the system. I think that's coming, but that's just me. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, that kind of information is already emerging about the best way to use this system. And what they're finding is that hitters who challenge are far less successful than pitchers or catchers.
Really?
And even, yep.
Okay.
And even pitchers are actually not as good as catchers.
Catchers. I did hear that. I did hear that one.
Okay. But on top of that, the problem with the system, the way it's set up, is that it's now become a tool for the pitcher-catcher battery to make it even harder for hitters to hit.
Okay.
It's become a tool that's being utilized better by pitchers and catchers than by hitters.
Okay.
I think the whole idea of using a challenge system like that needs to be improved. I'm not sure exactly how to improve it, but to make it a competitive thing probably is not a great idea.
Okay.
The technology is there to have balls and strikes called all the time.
Tyler, so while we were talking, I didn't want to interrupt him because he was making some great analytical points there. Tyler O'Neill just struck out looking. He just looked at 3 straight pitches. Frustrating. I mean, you're a major league hitter. You know there's 2 strikes and it's close. Defend yourself, please. I tell 7-year-olds to do that. You know, as Taveras makes his way to the plate, who's 0 for 2 today. Ball upstairs, 1-1. Trivia question: who was the White Sox player not implicated in the 1990? Oh my God! I know that answer. I should know it off the top of my head, and I can't come up with it as the ball goes low, 2-1. Wasn't it a pitcher?
Oh, I
think it was one of the pitchers.
Yeah.
God, I don't know that off the top of my head. I should. That's a great trivia question. And by the way, I still am ticked off about that, about Shoeless Joe Jackson. I wasn't alive then, obviously, 1919. Some people may think I was, but I wasn't. But everything that I've read, every article that I can find back in the day, every book that's been written about it, as the 2-2 pitch comes to Tavares and it's a ball, 3-2. Every book and the statistical information I'm given and the information directly from the players there, he shouldn't have even been implicated from his numbers. That irritates me. Dickie Kerr, that's right. It was Dickie. I remember that because I always thought it was a joke when I was a kid. Was not implicated in the Black Sox scandal. He was a pitcher. See, I did remember that. I was on that. He was a pitcher that actually won 2 games. Yes, and exonerated. There you go. Great question. I won't forget that again. Steve Kerr's brother, Dickie Kerr. That's how I'll remember it. So. Jackson, Jackson tore it up in that thing.
Which player are you saying?
He said Dickie Kerr was not implicated. Dickie Kerr.
Dickie Kerr.
Tavares takes the walk. That's a good one for the Birds. Holiday up there now. 1 out, a runner on first coming to hit. Holiday's got 2 walks today and a run scored. You come up with who?
Eddie Collins. And he was the captain of the team. And he was never connected to it. Never connected to the fix.
Well, there should be at least, I would say, I mean, the roster was probably 20-some deep at that time, and only, 8 were implicated. So you had to have a 20-plus that weren't. So there should be some others there that weren't. Dickie Kerr is a great. Dickie Kerr's a great name. Swing and a miss by Holiday. He's 0-2. I believe Shoeless Joe Jackson should be in the Hall of Fame. That's my thing. I'm an advocate for Pete Rose to be in the Hall of Fame. I get what he did. You look at baseball today with gambling is advertised at every stadium. Hell, there's even gambling booths in some stadiums as Holiday fouls it off. I get that wasn't a thing of the times. Put him in there, put an asterisk on it that he was banned from baseball for these years. He's passed away now. He deserves to be in there. He's the all-time hits leader, my God. How can we tell the history of the game without the current hits leader?
I agree. I think they all should be in the Hall of Fame. Every single one of them. Bonds, A-Rod, all of them.
The steroids, the stuff they did was legal. The stuff they did was legal at the time.
Tested for salt.
Yeah. Ball outside,
That's
1 and 2.
But he was without sin for salt, right? You know?
Yep.
There's a whole bunch of guys in there that you could say that they're morally bankrupt or were morally bankrupt at the time. Are you going to really get into that now? Since when is the Baseball Hall of Fame about judging morality?
Yeah, I agree. Strike 3-2. Henderson, he goes down swinging on the strike. Tavares steals a base, his 10th of the year. I agree. I want Clemens in there. I'm live right now. I'll have to do that later. I fully am an advocate for that. I got a great story that I think you'll appreciate being a baseball historian. 2 outs, 1-0 pitch coming to Alexander, the 9th hitter in the lineup. 1 for 2 today, looking to keep the Orioles going and trying to plus up. They are 4-1. We are live here at Camden Yards, watching and giving you feedback and reaction. DK says clean players not implicated. Eddie Collins, Hall of Fame second baseman, no evidence of the involvement. Ray Schalk, Hall of Fame catcher, widely regarded as having opposed the fix. 2 outs here, 2-1. Alexander has been one of the hotter players for the Orioles over this season, hoping he can keep it going here. Taveras with the lead. 2-1 pitch coming in, right-hander. Richards deals. Fly ball, right field playable. Driving the right fielder back. That's going to bang off the wall and get away from him. Montgomery's got to chase it down. Taveras comes in to score. Alexander going to third. He is safe with a stand-up triple. Holy heck, you don't see that enough in baseball. It is the triple right there in the board, and the Orioles are on the board again. Triple. I love the triple. Tim, we don't see that enough in baseball. It's one of my favorites.
Oh, I know. The triples gone the way of
you know, love it when I see it.
Gone the way of affecting.
T-Bone's been great to the chat. T-Bone, I hope you're subscribed. I love what you're bringing to my chat. Red Favor is another one. As Henderson swings and pops it up, and that's going to be out of play and foul and a strike. So here's a great little story for people that love baseball and talking about Pete Rose and the argument in or out and all that kind of stuff. I at one of my national conferences that we had, we always brought players in to speak to people from our community, some of the top military people in the world that would be there, and we brought great people in throughout the time. We've had Olympic champions in and all kind of stuff. So one of the times, as the 0-1 pitch comes to Henderson, it's a ball upstairs. One of the times coming in was Johnny Bench to talk to us, and I have that picture, which will be on the website as well. People will be able to see that when it comes out here in just a couple weeks. The new website, updated one. Here's the 1-1 to Henderson. Ground ball over to shortstop, or third baseman in the shortstop's position. And he throws out Henderson by a stroke. Top of the seventh coming up. Gonzalez, Meadroth, and Peters coming up for the White Sox. So Bench is the speaker. And Tim, luckily, I was in a prominent position with my company where I had a chance to be involved. So as he finishes doing his whole thing, and it was awesome. His whole talk was awesome. He says, anybody have any questions? And I let some of the other people go first. And then he was just about to finish up, and I raised my hand. And I said, Johnny, I got a question for you. And I started walking up from the back of the room. The room had like 300 people in it. Walked up to the front of the convention room. And I said, Johnny, I have a question for you. I said, I asked him, it was a big red machine convention. It was about his impression of Brooks Robinson and what he brought to those games against the big red machine. And he answered it for me, which was great. And I was standing up there at the front. I said, well, I got one other to follow up. I said, if I can indulge. And I said, I pulled a baseball out of my pants, my dress pants, pulled an MLB ball out of my dress pants. And I flipped it over to Johnny, and I said, Johnny, let me ask you a question. Did you ever play catch with your dad when you were a kid, or how'd you start out? And I said, here. And he flipped it back over to me. And as we're talking, I flipped it back to him. We were like 15 feet away. And he told me a story about his dad, and I caught the ball from him as he finished. And I said, well, Johnny, I said, 7-year-old me sat at home and watched you play. You were one of the greatest catchers to ever play this game, if not argumentably could be argued as the greatest catcher. I said, and I told my dad one day, I'm going to play Major League Baseball and I'm going to play catch with Johnny Bench. Well, I said, my dad passed away 2 years ago, and somewhere upstairs he's looking down knowing I played catch with Johnny Bench. And I got a nice round of applause. And after everybody went to their break, Bench came up and approached me, and we took pictures together, which I have. And we talked for a minute. He told me, he said, since I've been speaking ever since I retired, he goes back, late 80s time frame, early 90s. He goes, I've done a lot of talks. He goes, I have never had anybody do that. He goes, that is a memory I won't forget. So I said to him, Tyler Wells coming in for the Orioles, everybody, by the way. 29 games he's been in, ERA of 3.35, opponents hitting 237, as Gonzalez is going to step in. He's 0 for 1 today with a walk. I said to him, okay, well, since I did that, could I ask you a question? And he looked at me, and I think he knew where I was going, just the look on his face. And it was just me and him. And I said, how can you keep voting Rose out? I get the gambling thing. Okay, put a notation on there. And he looked right at me and said, Pete, as long as I'm alive and he's alive, I will never give him that satisfaction. And I said, why? Just because he gambled and you hate it that much? Strike one, 1-1 count. He goes, no. He goes, it's the fact that he was my teammate and I stood up for him and defended him all the time because he was telling me he never did. And then he got caught and he had a chance to come clean with it. And I went to bat for him with, oh God, who was it back then? It was Giamatti. He goes, I went to bat with to Giamatti batting for Pete, and then he still wouldn't do it. He made me look stupid. He goes, I'll never give him that satisfaction now. I was like, wow.
Wow, man. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that now, I'm hoping after the fact that Rose has passed away, and I do want to go to his gravesite at some point and pay some respect. I like to do that. Rose and Mickey Mantle are the two that I want to go see right now. And Ruth, that's my third one. There's strike three on the corner. It's being challenged. We're going to see what happens here. It's a 3-2 count being challenged. Waiting on the call to come in. It is strike three in the red. Take a seat over there. That's an out. Where's my...
You're out. Go sit down.
There's a strikeout right there for. I'm hoping now that since that he's passed away, that the baseball will give it a break and the writers and all will look at that and let him in because he needs to be there in my mind.
Yeah.
So
have you been to the Hall of Fame? Have you been to Cooperstown?
I have been to Cooperstown. Strike one to me, Droth. He's 0 for 2 today. Yes, I have. I had goosebumps from the minute I entered the building to the minute I walked out. I took a ton of pictures. Unfortunately, I took a ton of pictures, and then the thumb drive that we had it got heated up in the car, and I lost half the pictures. I only have several left. We're going to go back again. Walking in and being met with the first thing you meet, which is a Babe Ruth full jersey in that case for that Babe Ruth section, is it's just enough to send your heart beating like it's Christmas. It just blew me away. Ground ball over to second, up clean, over to first, 2 outs here on the 7th. We will have the 7th inning stretch come up. Absolutely loved it, Tim. I want to go back. It was just amazing. So much better than the NFL Hall of Fame. And I loved all the busts. Don't get me wrong. I loved it. But the MLB one was just a level above.
Yeah, no, that's a beautiful place. It really is. I haven't been there. It's been more than 10 years.
Need to go back.
I'm trying to get there again.
Need to go back. That's something. Peter's now up there, 1 for 2 today for the lefty. Takes a strike right down the middle. Wells' challenge, everybody, if you're watching Tyler Wells for the first time for the Orioles, is he'll get ahead of hitters, get 1-2, 0-2, and then he'll leave a ball in the middle of the plate. Doesn't matter what the pitch is. Doesn't matter what the sequence is. There's a ball. It's low and away. Gets pulled for a fly ball. Going to be a right field to Ward. Or, no, yeah, not to Ward. My part. It's not to O'Neill. That's going to be your third out of the inning. Tim and I will be right back. We'll continue this Hall of Fame talk and more. Talk a little bit more about DK Baseball. If you're not following and keeping up with DK Baseball Clinics, you definitely should. It's a great organization. Time for our 7th inning stretch here on the channel. It's going to give me a chance to turn on my air conditioning because I feel like a chicken in the hot case right here. Enjoy the 7th inning. We'll see you in a minute. All right, coming back in, Jordan Hicks is going to be your pitcher. 23 games, 4.95 ERA. Opponents hitting 280 against him as the Orioles come up here in the bottom of the inning. It's going to be 2, 3, 4 in the lineup. Ward, Rushman, Ward, Alonso today. Right-handed pitcher for the White Sox. Birds holding a 5-1 lead here in the seventh. We've been sitting and talking with all day our good friend Tim McCullough, national advisor for DK Baseball Clinics, nationally syndicated writer and commenter featured on YouTube or yahoo.com, Associated Press, New York Post, and the Daily Press. As I've said, when we bring in somebody, it's a heavy hitter. And this gentleman is a cleanup hitter in his lineup with everything he's done, recognized with national publications and a key contributor to everything DK Baseball. Proud to have met him and to be honored to be affiliated with DK Baseball Clinics. You all have seen me feature the recipients that they have from time to time. We're going to continue to do that and continue to bring you everything about DK Baseball Clinics. Rushman coming up. He's 1 for 3. I mentioned earlier that I have this, I don't know if it's appreciation or I'm just weird. I don't know which way it is. But I am an advocate myself for when I'm somewhere, I will go pay my respects to someone who has passed apart. They made our world either unique or better or different or challenged in some way. To give you an example, I've been to several Orioles graves that are here in Maryland and paid my respect to them. I've been to players outside of baseball. I've been to Al Capone's gravesite and Frank Nitty's gravesite. When we went to Chicago, I felt like I had to go see that one. But I have on my bucket list 3 baseball players that I'm planning to get to. One of my all-time favorite players is Mickey Mantle. I have several of his mint baseball cards in my collection. I love watching old games that people have filmed. Footage of him from the home run derbies as Adley strikes out, goes down for the first out. So I'm a huge Mickey Mantle fan. Would love to go see him. It's the only Yankee jersey I'll wear, by the way, Tim. That's the only one where I'll let pinstripes touch my body is the Mantle one. I want to get out. I want to get out to Babe Ruth and see his, and as Pete Rose when his is finalized, which should be close to it. I just think for me, it's something to stop by and say, hey, thank you. Thank you. I just appreciate what you brought. I didn't get a chance to see Rose play live, nor Ruth, nor Mantle. So I figured it's my way to go back and say thank you. So that's something I want to do. I need to get to Dallas and go see Mantles. I was out there and couldn't make it. I went there the one day.
That's cool.
I had a chance and it was closed. The cemetery was closed for them. I'm like, no. So it happens. But I always like looking up to see, where players are, where they're laid to rest. Like Joe DiMaggio's is another one I wouldn't mind getting to at some point and stuff, just for the history, for me.
Yeah.
2-0 pitch to Ward.
Cool.
Something different, something different.
Yeah, it is something different.
Yeah, it's always cool to see what people leave there too. When I went out to Al Capone's, I left a $50 piece on his. Is what I left.
Okay.
Because he was always working through something. He always had 2 sides to every. I wanted a coin, and I wanted one with a little more depth than a penny because he was bigger in our history of our country than just somebody who was there. And he had 2 sides to everything he did. So, not that I'm an advocate for Al Capone because he did a lot of bad things and hurt a lot of people. But you can't tell the history of our country without La Cosa Nostra, the Chicago outfit, and everything else from the old days all the way back to Lucky Luciano all the way up, So line drive, center field for Alexander, base hit. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, having I grew up in New York. We had we had the five families.
You had the 5 families, yeah.
Oh yeah, and that was a different time. That was definitely a different time in New York.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I remember where I was the day Gotti took out Big Paul. And here's the 0-1 pitch coming to Alonso. Swinging bunt down the first baseline. That's going to advance the runner, and Alonso is out of the baseline and called out. Dondala Dan. Hello, Dondala Dan. Welcome in. Hit that subscribe today. Come back anytime. I'm a huge, I do a lot of history reading on the old school in those days. And we actually did. Samuel Basayo is going to pinch hit here, everybody. Basayo, 256, 12-1-30. I got it. I wanted to turn on the AC. We're good. Samuel Basayo stepping in, the big left-hander. Okay, we talked about contracts. I'm going to step out of our conversation about La Cosa Nostra for a second. We talked about contracts. The Orioles gave Basayo a 8-year deal as a basically on his rookie contract. 8 years and some hundreds of some million, which, again, will it be a good deal? I don't know. I don't think we'll know for years to come. But there's a situation where the Orioles did dip in the water. And I don't know if it's right or not. Your thoughts on a 8-year deal for a kid like Basayo, who has yet to totally put up numbers in the MLB.
Well, I think this is this can be a real rabbit hole here. But the thing is that right now players play their best years, their most productive years, are under team control, the first 6 years that they're in the league. This is when they're their most productive. And they're hitting free agency just as they're hitting a time in their lives where their bodies start to decay and their performance starts to fall off.
Right.
And at that point, they want to get paid big time money. I mean, $30, $40, $50 million a year now.
Yeah.
Some of the top free agents.
Basayo takes a walk, by the way, everybody.
I think teams are recognizing that the most productive years are when these guys are in their 20s.
Yeah.
That why not get paid now? And then, when they hit free agency, see how they're doing at that point.
And then they can do those things. We're gonna get a pinch hitter here too, real quick.
I think they're better off gambling with the young guy than they are with the old guys.
That's a good call. We're gonna get a quick, Tim, real quick. Just let me keep everybody in the game. We're gonna get a pinch hitter here, but Cowser is now gonna pinch hit for O'Neill. The Orioles have first and second after a 4-pitch walk to Basayo. So the right-hander wanted nothing to do with Basayo. None of those pitches were close. Daniel, thank you for subbing it up. Welcome to the family. And Tim, you're making some great points as Cowser steps in. I love it. I think you're right. And where it is.
I think they're recognizing that they should pay players up front for their most productive years, and then let them walk.
Yeah, get the most out of them while you can.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a gamble. You're still gambling because you have prospects that don't launch. You have the guys like Kobe Mayo who don't launch.
Yep.
So it's still going to happen. The Red Sox have had it happen too.
Kobe Mayo is the AAA Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
That's just 0-1 pitch to Cowser, way outside, 1-1. Williams ducking out. He's ducking out of work, but has DK Baseball Clinics announced the legacy selection for July. Tim, I can ask you if we can talk about, if you're willing to talk about that, let's do that in between innings so we can do that without interruption.
Okay, sounds great.
Let's do that after this inning. 1-2 pitch coming to Cowser. So much great food at this stadium. We talked about it earlier. They're showing Ryan on there with a lemonade. Rob is out there, got an ice cream. The lemonades at the Orioles Stadium are handmade down there. They make it in a giant vat, and it is unbelievable. If you ever go to a game, get the lemonade down at the stadium. Get Boog's Barbecue. Get a crab cake from Jimmy's stand over there. Like I said, they've got an oyster stand. They now have they have a taco stand there now. There's so much variety of food that you can just go crazy and enjoy it there. I love eating at the stadium.
I'm gonna make a trip down to Baltimore.
Yeah, let me know. We'll make it work out.
Hey, definitely. We got to do this. I'd love to go.
Love going to the games. Love going. I don't go as much as I like because I enjoy doing this so much that it's at times we're taking a whole group down. I've got a meetup here in Maryland in July, mid-July, and we're taking. This is the 5th year doing it, and I'm taking a group of 30 to 60 people every year to an Orioles game and doing their picnic perch. 101. He gassed up and blew it by Kowser. That's an out. That'll end the inning. Coming up, top of the 8th, Acuna 0 for 2, Ramo 0 for 2, and Antonocci 2 for 3 with a home run, a RBI, and a run scored. Coming up, let's talk for a second, if we could, a little bit about the legacy selection for July for DK Baseball Clinics.
All right. We selected a woman who has been what they call a host family on Cape Cod in Massachusetts for the Cape Cod Baseball League, which is probably the premier college summer league.
Yes, it is. Yes.
A lot of players who have played in the major leagues at one time or another played in the Cape Cod League. Anyway, she's been doing this for 24 years.
Wow.
Consistently for 24 years. In fact, her first player, I don't know, you remember the name Ryan Hannigan?
Yes, I do.
The catcher?
Mm-hmm, catcher.
That was her first player that she hosted.
Wow.
And she's had as many as 5 or 6 players in her home for the summer. Playing in the Cape Cod League.
Nice.
And on top, she's very involved with the Orleans Firebirds. That's the team that she's the host family for.
Okay.
She runs their host family program now. She is an assistant general manager of the team. She runs their youth programs, and she's just generally the go-to person for the team when they need to get something done. And she's been doing this for, like I said, for 24 years. So
that's awesome.
Her with a legacy bat. She's getting a legacy edition bat number 22.
Okay, and I'm sure I'll be.
And that's
I'm sure later on in July, I will have that information. I'm sure shared with me, and we will be honoring her and acknowledging her through the time frame, as we've done with Tyler on multiple occasions. Here, as we recognize what DK Baseball Clinics is doing. So that's awesome. Congratulations.
It's going to be July 28th.
July 28th. Okay. I'm sure I'll be doing a game then. I don't have it lined up yet, but I'm sure that is a Saturday, I believe. That is a Tuesday night. So I may not be doing a game on a Tuesday night because we have our other shows, but when we get the information, we do the recognition more than once. We try to do it a couple times throughout the month as we do our games here. So we'll be doing it. You'll hear more about it.
If you're going to do it on a show that's after that, I will join you.
Okay, sounds good.
Ball,
check swing on strike 3. Got to throw him out down at first, and Acuna just struck out. Yeah, we can work that out. I like to do it like we've done with Tyler, with the acknowledgement, talking a little bit about him and reading his simple bio. I love the fact that your team provides me with the bio. It does save me from having to go do the research, which is time is such a commodity. I'm so grateful for the support that I get and helping to do that. And I'm grateful to say thank you to the DK team. First pitch swing, and Romo says, I don't feel like playing today. I'm going to swing at the first pitch in my eyes, and he's out. And Basayo's in at first base again. The experiment goes on with the I get so frustrated. I don't like major leaguers trying to figure out a new position that they've never played. They noted he never even played it back in grade school. He was catcher all the time. I don't like figuring it out in the top league. Send him. I'd rather see you send the guy down to the minors for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Let him play every day. Let him have a coach there. Let him get extra work in and try to figure it out a little bit there. Then do it up here. That's me. Also, first pitch comes to Antonocci, who's 2 for 3, and he's challenging it. Let's see. The umpire always looks mad when people are challenging, and it is the strike on the corner. He was wrong. So. William says, props to Nancy. Yes, props to Nancy. If you're brand new, hit that subscribe today. We are 9 subscribers away, getting from that mark of 440. We'd love for you to be a part of the fun we do over here. I bring in friends like Tim from time to time And Tim brings a whole load of positive luggage with him, from his knowledge of baseball to his understanding of analytics to his tie-in with DK Baseball, just to name a few. We're so glad to have him here and having some fun today. We are sitting 2 outs here in the
I want
eighth.
to thank, on behalf of DK Baseball, Pete, we'd like to say thank you to you for your support. You've been great. You've been terrific. It's great working with you.
Thank you. Proud to do it. Proud to do it. Left-hander sits. He's got a crouch position. I'm not sure I like that. Hands through the zone for him. He's got to really drive the hips to make it happen. Now, Antonocci does. He's delivered. You look at his numbers overall through the season. Look at his numbers today. He does it. But you've got to have that bat speed approaching that 100 miles an hour with your hands through the zone, quick, tight, and dropped to get through. And that's a key thing. Patrick Likes, welcome in, Patrick. Welcome back. Great to see you back here with us today. We're only doing one game today. I've got some work to do on our website to get it up, so I'm going to give up the later game. I don't think I even had it scheduled, but I am going to be live later tonight at 10 o'clock doing our usual Disney Insomniacs. A lot of love and magic over there. We got a fun game that we play for prizes. Ball upstairs. 2 and 2. We got a fun game that we play for prizes called Two Truths and a Lie. And if you want to have some laughs tonight, come on over tonight and join us here on the channel. Also, should highlight that we're going to be live on the 4th of July, broadcasting the Catonsville. That's the way it's pronounced for some people out there that might not know it. It's Kate, like Kate, Catonsville. Fly ball to right. Ward will make the play. We're going to the bottom of the 8th here. Tavares, Holiday, and Alexander. We're doing the Catonsville Parade, which is one of the biggest parades in the state of Maryland. I partner with our local community association. I am a member of that association now. They gave me honorary membership for what we do. This will be our 5th year in a row doing the play-by-play on this parade. It is not done anywhere else by anybody else that I know of. And I will have all the information. I will be your Regis and Kathy Lee at the same time, because we'll have all the float information and be able to talk about it. And it's the 250th celebration, so we're expecting it to be good. Tim, we try to keep a little bit diverse, I guess, over here. Baseball broadcast, football broadcast, Disney content, live from the park sometimes, live from home. We did, fireworks for the local stuff. Just try to give everybody a good little mix of fun here on the channel.
Well, that checks off a bunch of boxes for me. I love that.
Well, it's all about positivity and trying to bring happiness. I say it all the time. I want our community to be an oasis for people to go to get away from all the BS in their lives, whether the stress comes from work or from your home life or from dealing with your kids or from dealing with your neighbors and your, whatever, whether it's, financial, whether it's, challenges, medical. I've got those, whether it's, dealing with personal situations, whatever those challenges is, we want you to come here. My brother was a professional wrestler for ECW and the WWE. I don't know if I ever told you that.
No.
Yeah, he was a wrestler for that. Jerry Lawler, the great wrestler, once sat and we were talking one night. Actually, as we were driving, he was in a car with me. We were driving, and he said, wrestling allows people to have a chance to step out of reality, an alternate reality, and that's what I'm trying to do here. Have a channel where people come in and it's an alternate reality for a little while. Whatever we're doing, the content that we're doing ties in to something hopefully that you like. We don't force Disney on people. There's some people that love Disney, some people that want nothing to do with it. We have it. It's there, but we don't force it on, just like I don't force baseball on the Disney people or football. I let the entities speak for themselves. I try to be like kind of like TBS and Ted Turner did, where you have all this different variety and people can tune in to where they want and be a part of that family, no matter what it is. So hopefully it works. So far, knock on wood, we're coming up on 5 years and 60,000 followers. I think it's going good.
Well, this is fun. This is a lot of fun doing this.
Well, thank you.
I really appreciate the opportunity to do this with you, Pete. This has been a ton of fun. I love this.
Awesome. We'll definitely do it again. Absolutely. Oh, Tavares swings at a ball like he's looking at pork chops sitting on his plate. Can't wait to get a lick. He's just up there hacking. 0-2 count right now. I hope that you see, being a baseball historian and that you are and understanding the game. I hope that you see a little bit of so many of the great announcers that have been there. I kind of pulled a little bit from everybody when I do my thing. You know, there's a little Vince Scully, there's a little, you know, of the announcers from Cleveland and Detroit who I loved. I was a Bob Shepard advocate. I loved listening to him in the background doing this
Bob
stuff.
Shepard. Huh. Wow.
Yeah, I loved Shepard. You know, there's days where I'll come on here and I'll be like, all right, we're gonna have a Bob Shepard inning, and I'll be now batting number 0, Tavares, number 0. You know, I do the whole Shepard thing. You know, so I love it. This kid's been a good acquisition for the Birds. You know, he's done a lot for him. I hope they re-sign him. Hey, Ramp, good to see you. Good to see you. Tavares, Leote up there, 0 for 2. He's got a walk, a stolen base, and a run scored. Here's the pitch. And he's got himself some cheese way up, way back at the track. The warning pass, and it hits the fan in the head. Sweet Mama Joe, wake up out there, drop your beer, and grab the ball. Tiohi Laveris. Bye. How about that? Leote Tavares gets a solo bump right there. 107.5 miles per hour off the bat, 412 feet away, and a fan needs to drop his beer and catch the ball. If anybody's listening from the stadium, go tell them the Pete McDivitt Show said, drop your beer, catch the ball. You can always buy another beer. Good gravy. Good gravy. All right. Who we got up there now? Sorry, the Orioles keep putting people in. Holiday is going to come to the plate. First pitch to him is a ball. Left-hander up there. Takes the pitch. That's the strike on the outside corner. That was a nice pitch. This kid's got a little bit of movement here that's pitching. Isert is the left-hander, and he's got some movement. Ground ball over to second, up clean, over to first. Holiday's out, 1 away. Rant coming in saying, aloha, great to see you. We're 9 subscribers away from our goal. We wasn't sure if we get there today. Afternoon games are hit or miss. We have some afternoon games where we'll have 300-400 people in here, and we'll have some where we have just around 100. Today's been 100 day, and that happens. That's okay. It also could be because the Orioles are out to a 6-1 lead, and, you know, people come in and see the score and like, that's the one thing. 5-run games, when you start getting to them, Tim, are tough to call from my vantage point, because people come in and they're like, "Oh God, my team's down. No, I'm good," you know, and they roll out. Or just the opposite. And I've had people tell me, "Oh, I came into your stream, but we were winning by 5 runs, so I just went and did some other stuff because I knew we were good to go." I was like, "Okay, I'll take a 2-1 game any day of the week." I get really excited about those. We get a lot more people in here. So 1-1 count to Alexander. Isert's been solid this year for them. Alexander just ripped one down the third base line. That is foul by inches. That did not miss by much. That ball was smoked. What was the exit velocity on that? I'd like to know that. God, he turned around on that. Alexander, again, just like Tavares, nice pieces of the puzzle that the general manager went and got. That did not miss by much. Wow. The one challenge he didn't do was pitching. He should have gone out. I would like to see the Orioles, if they can land this pitcher for a 4-year deal, to lock him in here, not just rent him for a couple months and go. I'd like to see them go get Scooble. I'd like to see him go get a number 1.
Well, they've got the pieces to do it.
Yeah, it's just pulling the string to do it. And you got to be willing to pay him. That's the key. You got to be willing to pay him. He wants to get paid, you know, and he's one of the best pitchers in baseball.
You know, you're not going to get him for a couple of months and then turn around and sign him for $20 million a year. That's not going to happen. You know?
No, you gotta be willing to put that as part of the deal.
All right, he's looking at least 30 and maybe as much as $40 million a year.
Yeah, and rightfully so. He's the best pitcher in baseball. And left-handers pitch very well at Camden Yards. They pitch very well because right-handers that pull them, you have that massive area in left. Swing and a miss, strike 3 as Alexander goes down, 2 outs in the inning. Somebody like Skubal could do very well for the Orioles. So whether they do that or not, I don't know. We need an ace. We have no aces. We're sitting at the table playing a little bit of Texas Hold'em, and we got a couple threes down low, and we're playing against backyard kings, and we're in trouble. So they need to do something.
Yeah.
Two outs in the inning. Here comes Henderson.
Well, they need to string together some wins.
Yes, that's the first thing. Their biggest win streak this year is 3. That's a problem. That's a problem.
If they can win 8 of 10, or even 10 of 15.
Yeah.
They can put together a string like that. Then you can, it's a little easier to justify making a trade for somebody like Skubal.
Yeah. That ball is smoked. Henderson rips one and almost takes the second baseman's face off, and that is an out. How hard was that ball hit? That was 100.5 off the bat. So I thought it was hit harder than that. He killed that. Well, Birds have a 5-run lead going into the 9th. You guys know what happens. Alonso likes to yell at the other team to start the 9th inning. Here we go.
What's up, Birdland faithful? It's your boy, Pete Alonso. This year, I can promise our offense will be explosive. Now, as long as our pitchers step up, we got a shot of winning it all. Let's go, Big O!
Let's go, Big O, as we go to the 9th. Let's go, Big O. Vargas, Benintendi, and Montgomery. I'm curious who the Birds are going to go to in the bullpen. I'm waiting to see. I haven't seen the announcement on MLB yet, and I'm looking at I'm watching a commercial for helping men have a better time in the bedroom, which I always get. I don't know why. I don't need that help, but for some reason I keep getting that commercial. Either that, or maybe many Oriole fans need that help. It's ridiculous. I get that and gambling all the time. I don't know what they're trying to tell us in Maryland here. So I need to get Frank Thomas and Doug Flutie off my screen and try to see who's coming in. Let's go. I'm wondering if it's going to be Cano. Do they go to him to close it out? Or it's another thing, Orioles don't have a closer. They went and signed the kid from the Mets, and he's been horrible. Then he got hurt, no.
What about Housley?
That's what I'm talking about. He's gotten hurt. He's given up. He's come in the last 3 times he's come in. 2 of the 3 he's given up the lead and lost the game.
Yeah,
and he's just been horrible. All right, we got a problem here. I see the head coach out talking to the Orioles. Housley's in the bullpen holding his arm right now.
What? No.
Housley was warming up, and he's now hurt, and now they're bringing in a different pitcher. And that's why he's out talking to the umpires, saying, "Hey, my pitcher got hurt. I got to go get another pitcher." Looks like he's arguing with the umpires. They don't want to give him extended time. They're just calling for the pitcher coming from the bullpen. This is interesting. I haven't seen this before. It's going to be Kittredge coming out of the bullpen, and he wasn't warming up. So do they give him the standard 8, or do they give him whatever he needs to get loose here? Alvarez is still going at it with the umpire in heavy heated discussion, and now Rushman is in there talking as well. So let's see what they give him. Like I said, Housley's out there holding his elbow. That's the problem, Tim. He's come over. He had all this perspective. They gave him some decent money. And when he's been in, he has not done and delivered what you need from a closer. Then he's been hurt, and he was on the IL for a while. And now it looks like he's hurt himself again in the bullpen getting loose. We need a closer.
Wow.
That's a problem. The Orioles have, I know at least a half dozen games off the top of my head that the Orioles have lost in the 8th inning with 2 outs or more, or 9th inning this year. So we'll see what happens here. It's going to be Kittredge coming in, who's a veteran, old-timer, up and down, 24 games, 5.40 ERA, 2.86 opponents hitting against him. And the problem with Kittredge is you don't know what you're going to get. You're either going to get somebody who's got a devastating spin rate that keeps it in the zone and keeps the ball down, and you get a bunch of ground outs, or you're going to get a guy who's got cement mixer moves for the day, and you're going to have him getting slapped around like, he's in the jungle and two monkeys got him, whacking him on the backside. So I don't know what's going to happen here as it goes through. Kittredge he was traded last year at the trade deadline to the Cubs. He was over there, didn't help them at all. They said at the end of the year, they said, nope, you're not Chicago Cub material. The Orioles said, come on back. We got nobody in the bullpen. We'll take you. And here he is. So they did give him more than the 8. They gave him, it looks like 10 to get loose. So we're going to see what happens here. Helsley should be walking into the dugout, stop rubbing his arm, and go into the dugout and get looked at by somebody or something. So they're still showing him in the bullpen just sitting there looking like somebody took his candy from him. He's not happy. All right, here we go. Kittredge is ready. What kind of stuff are we going to get? We'll find out in the first pitch sequence. See what the ball's doing. See if he has control of the slider today. See if the Orioles can hold this lead. First up, it's going to be Vargas. He's 0 for 3. Right-hander at the set, looks in. Vargas has stepped in, we're ready. Ball inside, high and inside at 89 miles an hour. That's a strike. I'm a little bit behind on mine, but I'm just going to leave it. We're in the 9th. 1-0 pitch, swing and a strike right there. Well, he's high in the zone, everybody, which is not a good sign. Hopefully he's got good movement to stay up there. Usually when that happens, he can get hurt. Let's see what happens here. 1-1 pitch to the right-hander. Pitch is high again, ground ball over toward third. Alexander throws it over to first. That's an out. Alexander throws. He's got that drop-down motion and throws from his waist. Drives me nuts. Wasn't the mechanics I was trained as a kid. But he gets it done.
Yeah.
Gets it done with that rainbow throw over to first. 1 out. Here comes Benintendi. I want to say thank you to all the moderators today for being here and helping out in this afternoon baseball. We can't do what we do without your support here. It means a lot. We're grateful. We want to thank Debbie Bernfeld for supporting the channel today and doing a members-only guest membership drop of 5 memberships. Thank you, Debbie, for your support of the channel. Anything with money is never expected, but is always appreciated. Nanny Pooh Bear, welcome in. Good to see you. So thank you for that. We're grateful for that. Want to thank the new subscribers to the channel. We had several. Thank you very much. You couldn't do what we do with growing this community without your help here today. I want to thank the veterans. All the vets that coming in, whether you're watching Ninja today in the chat or talking in our chat. We love when you engage and talk in the chat. We love when you hit the likes or hit that little red heart thing that's down the bottom there, and you can get a bunch of hearts and smiley faces and whatever and tell YouTube we're doing a good job. Ground ball over to first. Basayo, thank God he fields it. The project fields the game. That's an out. We want to thank Terry Tyner. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. So we thank the veterans. And most importantly today, I want to say thank you to Tim McCullough for coming in from DK Baseball and being a part. Thank you for their support and helping what they do. They also share us out, everybody. So for everybody that's here, how about some hearts in the chat? You know what? It's the 4th of July week. Let's do red, white, and blue hearts for Tim and for DK Baseball and their partnership with us and sharing us out and letting others find our channel. It does help us. Tim, I truly appreciate it as Montgomery steps in the box.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I've really enjoyed this. This has been great, Pete. I'd love to do it again. So
Absolutely.
we need to figure that out.
Fly ball, line drive, foul. No balls and 2 strikes. Tim, when this game finishes, hang tight. I got a quick recap I do, then I'll touch base with you at the end, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay. No, I'm in right to the end here, Pete.
Another foul right there. That's a strike. Count remains the same. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The Birds, can they close it out? Mr. Thibodeau, welcome in, sir. Great to see you. Hit those red, white, and blue hearts as we're finishing this up. Ground ball up the middle. Shortstop over. Henderson flips to first. That'll end the game right here on the channel. Congratulations to the Orioles for pulling it out here today. Why is that locked? That needs to move a little bit. I just noticed that. Got to do a little bit of broadcasting production here on the channel. There we go. Now it's locked in the right way. All right, let's recap it real quick for you, everybody. The Baltimore Orioles win the game today at Camden Yards. 6 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Orioles. You got 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for the White Sox. The win goes to Dean Kramer. He's 1-1 with a 3.18 ERA now. The loss goes to Schultz, 2-5. His ERA now at 5.86. For the fall-in White Sox today, Antonucci, 2 for 4, runs scored and an RBI. Montgomery, 1 for 4. Peters, 1 for 3. Total of 4 hits on the day. Double for Montgomery, his 7th. Home run, Antonucci, his 5th. For the Baltimore Orioles in the win, Henderson 1 for 4 with a run scored. Rushman 1 for 4. Ward 1 for 3. O'Neill 1 for 2 with a run scored and an RBI. Tavares 1 for 3, 2 runs scored and an RBI. Holiday 1 for 2, and Alexander 2 for 4 with a run scored and an RBI. Alexander with a triple on the day, his 2nd. O'Neill with a home run, his 3rd. Tavares with a home run, his 3rd in the win. Thank you to T-Bone. T-Bone 90125 for a $20 holler, blessing the channel and myself and Preston. We are so grateful, and I'm going to step out of the ordinary instead of closing it right here and just say, hey, Tim, I thank you so much for being here. It's been awesome to have some color and with you, and I hope everybody goes over and checks out DK, and can't wait till the next time we do the broadcast.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
We'll have Tim back again. Our mascot, Mr. Sandwich, is going to say, hey, great job, birds. We'll see you next broadcast.
Let's